there any way I can switch sides of the table?
No, because then you have to see it.
That's true. I can just pretend it doesn't exist.
That's
Either way, on the
If I
screen, you're still going to be asshole adjacent, so it doesn't really matter.
That's true. Dave says nothing yet.
Okay. Oh no, I know.
Okay.
It's because I have a super secret. This is how you fix this shit.
Okay.
Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Nope.
Yeah.
It is.
That's not
Dave
super
has
secret.
have his sound on. Did
Yeah,
we
he
ask
does.
the rest of Twitch?
He's right. We're not.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not bouncing.
Aw.
We're not bouncing and behaving.
Man, we had some comedy gold in those intros.
All good now.
Oh.
He says.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. The one time you don't check to see if it's bouncing.
Right?
That's what she said.
so,
That's
She
you know.
hasn't yet.
That's what they said.
does that
Thank
mean we
you,
start
sorry.
all
Let's-
over?
The recording should be fine. It's just out, but we can.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
can keep going.
Hey, Twitch.
That's fine.
Hi.
So,
Thank
let's
you,
just-
Dave, for being out there and
Yes.
everybody who let us know. I was trying to fix something else.
Yes.
So there you go.
So for those watching on the stream, real quick, that's Rob. He's playing Tommy the Sluagh. This
It
is
should
Gina.
be-
She's playing Charlie the.
Should
Selkie.
be here. All of our
Yeah,
stuff
Charlie
should be
is
here.
Selkie.
Chandler Bliss, the Selkie.
Jim's playing Maimrie the Piskie, and Clara's playing Fallon the Troll. I'm Adam. I'm your GM. We're playing Changeling 20th Anniversary Edition. And as I was just saying, we are moving after this week. So this is our last Monday. So next Wednesday, July 10th, we will start being every other Wednesday. So we're going to take that every other Wednesday slot. So that's a thing that's going to happen. But I believe there's a really awesome new game that's coming in here. I believe it's Jason GMing. What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's Jason GMing something. It'll be amazing.
It's probably he's going to call it D&D and it's going to look nothing like it.
Yes, yeah, probably.
He's just going to change a bunch
No,
of
they
stuff.
told me because I was almost. I wanted to be in it so bad. I just can't. Anyway, so we're gonna play Changeling, but we're gonna do a little housekeeping. We've got a little more character building to do, and we're going to do a little world building tonight, and then we'll try and play a little story as well. So yeah, because I want to try and keep. I know we're like 30 minutes in and we're just starting, but I want to try and get a good 2 hours of story in too. So maybe we can speed through some cool background stuff, and then we'll just enough to get started, and then we'll establish things in game as well, if that's okay with everybody.
Just go straight up brainstorm, man.
Right, exactly. So just to recap our setting, we are primarily set, or at least we're starting in the town of Port Estrella, which is a small city on the central Californian coast, a little ways north of Los Angeles. The four player characters, our four main characters, have been, did some kind of great deed, and were put in charge of protecting the freehold here, which is
a bad idea.
It's a great idea.
Great idea. You're all awesome.
Oh no, Maimrie thinks it's a great idea. Jim goes, it's a bad idea.
So a freehold is a place where glamour springs up from the dreaming and creates a very potent source of magical energy that changelings need in order to fuel their magic, as well as stay riding that line between what is magical and what is banal. So that's the place where you guys are seated. Clara, what?
I'm like, I don't know.
It is a complete non sequitur, and I don't want to distract the group.
Oh,
Keep
okay,
going.
all right, gotcha. Okay.
I'll say it at the end.
Also, Port Estrella is a crossroads of a major trod that crosses the Pacific Ocean.
And a trod is, which I know.
Yes, a trod is a pathway through the dreaming from one point in the mundane world to another point in the mundane world. So this particular trod allows you to...
That was amazing.
This particular trod allows you to spend a very short time, and you can basically just sail from, and even like a little dinky sailboat. You can sail from Tokyo, Japan, all the way to Port Estrella in less than a day. Which, it's not as...
It's literally water, though.
Yes.
The trod, because it's through the ocean. So it's not like it's a pathway that you would walk. Some of them
Or is
would
it?
be, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or is it?
Is
can
it?
Is it? Is it?
Cool.
Oh my God, we're world building. Check that out.
Yeah, hey. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do that. So,
Okay.
yeah, what do you guys think? Should it also be walkable? Maybe you can walk it in a day?
Oh, I was going with theoretically, if you could survive underwater, you could do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
But is it constantly underwater the whole time? Do we need a submarine or something?
I-
Rowboat upside down.
I kind of dig the idea that different trods have different atmospheres, sort of, so that they could be
yeah.
literally you're not sure.
Yeah.
It seems like it's water,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but some
Yeah.
of them aren't, and maybe sometimes it isn't.
But you
or-
could also fly. Maybe there's some islands to stop over in
yeah.
between.
The thing that I would like to see is some kind of ferryman or magical beast. Like maybe a tortoise with a little construction on the shell.
Yeah,
Of
uh-huh.
that basically
Like a
ferries
constant-
things
yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the tortoise can also be like
Or
an
a
NPC
giant
of some sort.
tortoise.
Yeah.
Or a giant with a boat on his head that
Yeah.
actually in
Like Time
Giant
Bandits.
tortoise.
or something like that. But yeah, I think something like that would be neat. Or
we
just
have-
like a bridge that kind of looks like a fossilized dragon,
Ooh.
like an Asian dragon that just looks like.
Yes to all these
How do you
things.
guys feel about all of the above?
I
Yes.
do.
Right?
Yeah. No, I totally.
I feel
and
like
then-
maybe that's one of the things that's so special about this trod is that your imagination determines the way the dreaming takes shape there
Yeah.
to allow you to cross, and your particular style and your particular taste creates a way of crossing as you go.
Cool.
And I think maybe in the past, certain people or certain common
Well.
repeated themes, like like the tortoise, they've become to be independent and they go by themselves back and forth. And so maybe if you're not strong enough to conjure your own
Would it?
idea,
And if it's nightmare influence.
Yeah,
The stronger your nightmare gets, the more.
It's tumultuous like the
Yeah.
ocean is.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
So
I
there,
also like the
here
idea
there
of
be
being
dragons
sort of
too.
like a conflict
Yeah.
between
Mhm.
the Eastern concepts of fantasy versus
Uh-huh.
the Western concepts of fantasy, and
Oh,
being
yeah.
sort of like some kind of bridging gap
There's a-
between
yeah.
the two. Or you either have to go through a challenge to prove that you're worthy of going to the other side,
Yeah.
like a Black Knight going, "You must answer me my questions 3
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that." That'd be kind of cool too.
I was thinking of it more as a lot of times when you hear about fairy courts and stuff, they don't really discuss the difference between there's an entire group of fae that are just water fae,
Yeah.
and they don't fucking care what you're doing on land.
Right.
So there's this whole idea of because mermaid cares about this stuff.
Yeah.
There's this whole I like the idea of it. If it's oh my god, what have I done? Who knows? If it's sorry, Kimmy. If it's a water trod, there's this level of there's a guardian only because it's a water trod, and most fae we think about now, especially written in the book, tend to be land fae.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I like that kind of fluid nature of it all.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to cross. There are a lot of different things that might happen. Every time you cross, it's different. But I think, it's because it's one of the few trods that actually cross the entire ocean. I think that's what makes it important. So So it's a way for you to get from one continent to another entirely within the dreaming. But as with all things in the dreaming, there are some dangers, and so the nightmare can manifest, and sometimes there are tests, and various creatures want various payments in order to take you across. So,
I mean, you can even make it so whatever payment that you want to make due sort of forms the idea of what the crossing will be like.
Yeah. And I think the stronger your the stronger your willpower.
I would say glamour.
The stronger your glamour.
Or
Yeah.
combination there.
Yeah. and then like your banality can affect it too.
Right.
Like the higher banality you have, the less you're going to be able to influence it, and and also like if you have a lot of nightmare, so.
Well, you always take what you bring with you into these types of things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that trod does not go to the dreaming. Are you passing through the dreaming when you're going?
You're passing through the dreaming.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is real hard to wrap your mind around it. And I've read through this section like several times, and still I don't really understand exactly what's going on. But the dreaming is like another layer on top of reality, right? So it's sort of like you're like there, and then there's the near dreaming and the far dreaming, and then Jim, feel free to jump in here if you have thoughts about this.
When you're dealing with the immediate world,
Yeah.
there is an overlay on reality. And think of it sort of like an augmented reality. If you ever played with those apps on your phone where it has stormtroopers that just puts them in the picture.
Yeah.
Look at it that way. So you sort of have like these VR goggles and you see the room exactly as it is. There's just an overlay of fantastic
Well, for
Yeah.
example, the Selkie always has chimerical water,
Right.
Exactly.
like puddled
Dripping.
up around them. Yeah, dripping from them.
Yeah.
So to mortals, you would appear like a regular, normal human being, which is called your seeming. But to people that could actually see into the dreaming, there's another layer of reality that exists that sort of superimposes itself
Yeah.
on top of whatever is going on. When you go into the near dreaming, that's sort of like you're actually crossing into another dimension. It's a dimension of pure imagination. And the deep dreaming or the far dreaming is the realm where the Fae live, but were ejected out of because of nightmare.
Yeah.
And there was a whole lot of shit going on hundreds of years ago that forced a lot of the Fae to leave the real world because of banality, and they retreated back into that deep dimension. And then they were all sort of kicked back out after a certain point, and there's sort of like a nebulous thing about what exactly happened because nobody really remembers.
Yeah.
So now going into that part of the dreaming is kind of squiffy because there be monsters. But the near dreaming is still just sort of like an adjacent parallel dimension. Think of it like the Upside Down from Stranger Things.
Yes,
But
yeah.
more rainbowy and unicorny. Or it could be a lot like Stranger Things depending on where you are, because there are places that are
Very
rife
dark
with
and
nightmare.
Nightmares, yeah.
So, you're dealing, it's sort of a dimensional thing. One is when you're here, you sort of have a glossy veneer over everything. When you go into the dreaming, everything is subject to fantasy and imagination. It's really where human dreams live.
Yeah.
So a lot of times changelings will be going and there's somebody sleeping and they'll actually see their dream as it's happening. And sometimes if you're powerful enough, you can actually interact with them.
Yeah.
And then there's and to go into the near dreaming, it's relatively easy. To go all the way into the deep core, kind of more difficult. Sort of like a spirit quest needs to happen for you to do that. But that's sort of the world that this sort of thing lives in.
Yeah.
Where everything is sort of painted with a brush of fantasy over the reality that only certain people can see.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great explanation. Thank you.
And they never used the trod.
So that's the main trod, but do we know if
yeah.
there are other trods?
Yeah.
or-
There are other trods. That's one of the reasons Port Estrella is so valuable. It is a crossroads because Highway 101 is also a trod that runs all up and down the coast. So
That's awesome.
it's a very fast way to get from like Baja, Mexico, all the way up to Alaska, within also a very short amount of time.
Nice.
So and then there are others branching out from that. But Port Estrella is a crossroads between these two legendary trods, and that's one of the things that makes it such an important place. Now, I'm going to start asking you guys some questions because that was the extent of my setting prep.
Yeah.
And I did that on
Cool.
purpose, for those who are wondering. I purposefully set up no more than that. And just that there were the trods. I didn't really think about what is the nature of them or why they're important or what they do. But it makes this place important. So now I want you guys to tell me things about this place and what has manifested here. So what's important is that because this is such an important place for changelings, for Fae, there is an excess of magic here. So there is something very. I think we talked about the Port Estrella's slogan is "It's magical," right?
Right.
So there's something that people can just sense when they come here, and they're just filled with imagination and inspiration and excitement. So, what are some of the things that exist in this world, in this city?
One thing that I'm certain exists here is an arts colony.
An arts
yeah.
college.
Oh, yeah, I was
Colony
gonna
or
say.
college?
Colony.
Arts college. Okay.
It was
Yeah.
started as an. Okay, wait. Can I?
Nope. Well, please.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
do
way
it.
this works.
Yeah.
First of all, there's definitely a California mission built.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where we started.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around
Draw an
that
art colony on
area.
there?
Later after everyone was
How do you
left
draw
that,
a hippie?
there was an arts colony that kind of moved into that space.
The Van Dyke.
And for years, it was kind of like its own like commune.
Wait, an art colony moved into the mission?
Not into the mission, but into the buildings that kind of cropped up around the mission.
Oh,
So
gotcha,
all the
gotcha,
old
gotcha.
architecture,
Okay.
like
Yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah.
the
Like
heart
all
of
the
mission-
Adobe
Yeah, I was
structures
gonna
and
say,
stuff like that.
Adobe.
The heart of
Yeah.
the mission, and they might have added more, but the heart of the mission is still there. And
Yeah.
then there's this weird, like, permanent Burning Man-esque kind of area around it.
Okay.
Did it
And-
pop up in the 60s, the 50s beatniks? Was it Roaring 20s?
I'm going with like late '60s, early '70s.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
hippie burnout.
Hippie
Okay.
burnout.
Okay.
Yeah.
That changes the vibe a little bit.
It's not in
where
town,
the-
but it's
where
around.
the man went when they had to tune in, turn on, and
Yeah.
whatever those words.
Drop out.
Drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, yeah,
That's a good mission, Jim.
Yeah, see, my
You
little
put
cross.
Jim on a mission, and that's what it is.
that was good.
What's the mission's name?
Estrella.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
in my head they're all.
Yeah.
Aren't they kind of all named the cities around them?
No,
Always?
well,
They're usually named like
Are they?
after,
After
saints.
saints.
True,
So like
true, true.
San Gabriel.
There's no
Which
San
was
Estrella? Now there is.
How about
Lucia.
how about San Clement?
How about a chick?
San Clemente?
Oh, San
San
Clemente?
Clemente
Yeah.
exists.
San Clemente. What?
Clemente
Santa
already
Lucia.
exists.
Santa
Oh,
Lucia?
Santa
no,
Lucia?
San
There you go.
Drogo. He is the patron saint of, God, what is it? Ugly people, coffee house owners, and coffee. And
That's a
coffee.
thing?
I promise you it is. I have a weird love for
There are
saints.
10,000 saints.
Saint
There's
Drogo.
like, yeah. Back in the day when you could just
Oh no!
ask-
Every single Christian name
Yeah.
has a saint attached
Yeah.
to
He's
it.
Welsh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, back in the day you could just
Oh, Welsh.
if you knew people, they
So-
would just say
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mission San Drogo?
Yep.
Is it Mission
All
San
right.
Drogo?
That sounds great, actually. San
Yeah.
Drogo.
Drogo.
Yeah.
D-R-O-G-O.
Just like the
OG.
just like the
Drogon.
call. Yeah, one of those things I just know.
Okay.
Saints.
Nice. All right. Okay. So, patron saint of ugly people?
Unfortunate looking people, bachelors, coffee, and coffee house owners.
Okay.
It's a weird combination, but
How old is the saint? If it's
Yeah, I gotta-
the saint
I
of
wanna-
coffee
I'm
house.
curious.
1965.
in this case,
Or
no,
55 probably
straight
beat
up,
back.
like he is a real saint. The name is Welsh, I think.
Uh-huh.
I cannot.
I'm not doubting you. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, like, because if there's a mission named after him,
Saint
you know.
Drogo.
So he died in 1186.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
Feast day,
was
April 16th.
he was Flemish.
Sorry, not Welsh.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh.
D-R-U-G. Oh, D-R-O-G-O.
had-
It could be,
yeah.
or D-R-U-G-O.
Saint Drogo
Um,
Seaborg.
Veneter.
So basically, I drew down Mission San Drogo here, and then I put in other little buildings and some paintings and stuff that says Mariposa Art Colony.
Mariposa Art Colony.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, I like that one. Good job.
Which,
Hold on.
Which means butterfly,
Butterfly.
right? Yeah.
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 Although
Okay.
this one says sheep as well.
You said the feast day is April
Well,
16th.
sheep
Yeah.
are
Correct.
unfortunate looking,
sheep are unfortunate looking.
except for the very few.
He was
very
orphaned as a
attractive ones.
teenager. He got, reportedly he was able to bilocate, which works very well with our tribe.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
He
Yeah.
was able to bilocate,
Yeah.
be in two different
Wow.
places at once.
Correct.
Oh,
Let's do
How
some
was he
cool
killed?
shit.
that is perfect. Good
yeah.
job, Clara.
He, during a pilgrimage, he was stricken with an unsightly body affliction, and he became so terribly deformed that he frightened the townspeople.
Syphilis.
Oh.
Yeah. And he stayed in a cell without any human contact except for a small window in which he received the Eucharist.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I bought some snacky cakes.
You
Oh.
found the place.
Oh my God.
They
Oh,
smell so good.
If
Help
I,
yourselves,
Damn.
guys.
straight up, if I die, I'm gonna haunt in 85 degrees.
Right.
Straight up.
Oh.
Straight up. Now tell me.
Yes.
Do you really want to love me forever?
Oh.
Oh.
He's excited.
Yeah, we
With
did.
MC's Stat Cast when you need it.
So now the question is, should I be going to the
That's
85
matcha tea and
degrees,
black bean.
or should I be walking the extra half block to Porto's?
Oh,
Well,
shit.
Porto's is superior.
Okay,
I will-
all right.
I'll
Yeah,
give
but
you
the line is
100%.
shorter.
But if,
85.
yeah, so if I don't want to deal with Porto's
This
line,
is
I go to
self-serve
85.
and a
game
really
to
good
get.
second best.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, we're playing a game.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the Mariposa Art Colony, which has come up around the Mission San Drogo. Mission San Drogo? Is that
Mission.
would be the...
Sounds
Well,
a
the
little more
tourists
French
call it
than
the
Spanish.
Mission San
It's a little
Drogo.
Yeah.
yeah, and the Mission San Drogo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
Can we say that there's been a rash of vandalism at the Mission San Drogo with a whole bunch of like Drogo from
Oh, it
Khal
got
Drogo.
popular after Game of
Oh.
Thrones.
Game of Thrones?
Or
Just
people leave. They leave instead of like flowers and stuff like that. They leave like little like stuffed dragons and like
Absolutely.
horses
Absolutely.
and stuff. Yeah, they basically desecrate it, and like it pisses the priests off
off like crazy.
nonstop. Yeah,
And nobody
Is-
at this table will do that every week, every single week, just because she thinks it's fun.
right.
Not at all.
Clara's really upset. Fallon does not care.
And so is this still a working mission, or
think
is there
so.
still like
Like,
monks? Would there be?
they'd be priests. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd
they'd
still
be
be
priests.
priests.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
they
they
do
have-
mass
Am I the only
on
one
Sunday.
here who doesn't know anything about Catholicism?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say like 12 years in Catholic school. So
I was-
So
I have emotional
Okay.
scars.
I'm
I got
Jewish,
kicked out of the
which makes me basically
Jesuits. Just
Nice.
saying, kick F out.
Okay, so you guys all had to be my Catholicism
It would
experts.
still be
'cause-
working.
It'd
yeah.
still be working,
Okay.
but I would say that
What's the
primarily
green thing?
what that's
Sorry.
matcha tea and black bean.
Yeah, I won't heard that.
But it's working. It's still a working
That's my
Catholic church. They do mass.
Okay.
But I think that perhaps probably the bulk of the
like a
funds that they have are due to tourism.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, they play up a lot of the mission thing. They have like a little thing outside. It's like a little pueblo. That's like this is what the Native Americans did, and they
Yeah.
try to drum up that. But the fact that there's not a lot of patronage as far as religious patronage, they actually just lean on that more and do more public works and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say there's definitely like a historical reenactment society that
Oh,
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
once a year at least.
Yeah.
Well,
Leave it
yeah.
there.
There's probably like,
Leave it
but they get it so wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get it.
not so wrong, but they definitely like there was no slaves.
Oh yeah.
it's very washed. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the
I just
history
imagine.
here.
It's
Yeah.
been cleansed.
it's been
from the
cleansed,
truth.
very cleansed. Yeah.
And this is from growing up in SoCal. You went if you grew up in Port Estrella, you went to the San Drogo mission every
year at
Oh,
school. Yeah.
You had to build one
Out of sugar cubes.
out of sugar
Yep.
cubes.
They sound as
No,
kids.
I wouldn't want them to have school attached, but that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like a Montessori school. Or,
There's a school.
that's-
yeah.
Is there a
Well,
school?
it could
Yeah.
be. It would be a Catholic school.
It's a Catholic school.
Okay.
Catholic private school.
They wouldn't
Not
do a
Montessori.
Montessori
Yeah.
attached to the
Maimrie,
mission.
did you
It's a
go
Catholic
there?
school.
Yeah.
No.
But then is there a Montessori in the arts colony just to piss off the Catholic school?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maimrie's mother worships clothing and jewelry, and her father is actually Lap's Greek Orthodox.
I just
Wait,
assumed
okay.
it was a good school.
My
then
character.
that
Oh,
makes
because
sense.
I was like, wait, is that your character or you?
You're Greek.
Okay. So
So loud.
so
That was
where
yummy.
so a couple of things. So we know Maimrie goes to school. So I'm assuming Maimrie goes to the public high school.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a name of that public high school, or is it just Port Estrella High?
Let's say that it's no, it'll be a public school. Port Estrella High is fine, or
Okay.
Estrella High.
What's
Okay.
your mascot?
Our mascot is a sea otter.
Okay.
We're the Port Estrella Otters.
That's cute.
That's like Hermione's
Patronus.
Patronus.
Patronus. Yeah.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
I
Estrella
have a
High
lot of Harry
Otters.
Potter in my head right now.
Yeah.
She ought to picked a better one.
Wow. Damn it, Rob.
You're welcome.
It's one of my top
Give me a
5
pastry.
favorite.
These are the loudest bags, though. That's the
I know, that is
Are
the
they?
problem.
I'm like, how do I quietly eat this?
Yeah.
don't even
If you
worry
just shove it in your mouth all at once, it doesn't wrinkle the bag.
Right? Yeah.
So
yeah.
good. It's like a matcha green tea Swiss cake roll.
Oh, so good.
I don't want to like shove it all in my mouth because we're recording it.
Okay.
I'm going to say
Yeah. So.
just outside of Port Estrella,
Mhm.
because of where we're located on the coast, it was the main trading area between the Chumash and the Tongva, local native tribes before the Spanish came in
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, it's
fixed everything.
Oh, you.
Yup.
That there's actually like standing stones is the wrong way to look at, but there are stone
Some sort of indigenous artifacts.
outcroppings and stuff that
So,
were very important to them and used like as a trading route and a marketplace and a worship place and stuff like that.
It was-
A little bit outside the city.
It's a meeting place.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for it?
No.
Okay.
So it's now used also as a marketplace nearby? Or it
It's
used to
not.
be?
It's more like people go by to see it a little bit. It's still
Yeah.
kind of
And our town
touristy.
is called Port Australia?
Yeah, I'm going to say that there's probably surrounding the city is probably some national forest land.
Yeah, like up on the mountains and
up on the
stuff.
hills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me. There might be a
Yeah.
name for it.
Cool.
I have slow in my head, kind of as another
Me too.
analog.
Yeah.
It's like between slow
Gizmo,
and
slow.
yeah. So my
Yeah.
question is there maybe a college as well?
There could be.
We're still quite close to LA, so we don't need to have like a college.
Well, but it's like Pepperdine's in Malibu.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
And so.
I think there could be some liberal arts
Like
college or
Channel
a
Islands is
small
right there,
state
yeah.
college or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
actually, I would like to use that as maybe more of a form of conflict because what if there's a technical university, sort of like an engineering school,
Yeah.
that's sort of like a concentration of banality,
Oh.
Ooh.
so
I don't
like
know.
a hard science
like
school.
a
Yeah.
not lib arts, but like of MIT.
MIT
like
type.
Yeah.
specialty.
St. Louis Obispo.
So
has-
Cal Poly.
Yeah,
Cal
it's
Poly
it's a
Australia.
polytechnic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a polytechnic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those people are weird.
Yeah, they're super weird.
Yeah.
I know
they
a lot
are.
of them.
Yeah. Screw them.
Is there a California Institute of Technology?
There's
There's Caltech.
Cal-
Right?
Caltech.
Oh, that is, yeah. That's,
So
that
it
is
could
a
be an
thing
offshoot
yeah.
campus.
But it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be Cal Poly Australia.
yeah. Cal Poly Australia.
Yeah.
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 Or
Yeah.
just Australia Tech or
Yeah.
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 I mean it's
I like to do something other than Australia, but like,
Channel Islands.
Coastal Technical University.
Coast Tech. Yeah.
CT.
Coast Tech.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like Coast Tech.
Coast Tech, yeah.
Coastal Polytechnic, so it's a
Coastal
CPU.
Poly.
Oh, yeah.
CPU.
Yes,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
Rob is the
terrible.
bomb.
That's
Yeah.
totally where Fallon went to college, though.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
And you found it so
Oh,
oppressive.
so your CPU?
Can it be like somewhere that like Solvang or some of those central
somebody
places?
draw
are
stuff
where-
on there.
I'm imagining it like Carpinteria,
already did
like a
one
mix
side.
between
Yeah.
like Santa Barbara,
did one something
Carpinteria,
I don't know where
and
there's
San Ynez.
something
Yeah.
that draws people
I
to
may
go
not
there
know
on
you very
weekends
well,
and
but-
stuff.
Yeah, there's one.
Well, there's a thriving port, so there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of recreational sailing that happens out of there.
Cool.
You have some. There's a whole like. I'm thinking maybe there's a whole port area that has like some incredible restaurants, like some of the restaurants like people fly in on seaplanes to go to this
Yeah.
restaurant.
See,
That kind of
that's cool.
tourism.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So,
kind of local highbrow tourism.
So there's like a downtown Australia.
And then there's
There's a downtown
Yeah.
shipping port.
Shit, that's actually huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a port harbor type
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
with all sorts of cool restaurants
Yeah.
and
There's
Yeah.
It's like I was gonna say most ports end up being like bays.
Yeah, they're in a,
Yeah.
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 It's a natural bay.
Yeah.
Because it's all a natural bay. There's a downtown. I'm gonna put it
with
here
slips and
unless anyone says otherwise.
I'm gonna fave it. Fave it bay.
upvote it.
I'm trying to think of where we put
Twitter.
someone else
It's
put
hip.
things
Moving.
places. I don't do
Just put
maps.
stuff.
I don't do maps, people.
Yeah, just put
I
stuff.
vote for the good map.
Yeah.
The mapper.
don't draw.
We'll make it prettier
Yeah.
later.
The standing
Yeah.
stones are called the Watt stones.
The Watt stones.
WOT,
Okay.
which is
I like
which is the Chumash word for chieftain.
That is
Nice.
awesome.
I like
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Cool. Yeah. And it's just outside town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
I like that.
I get really like anxious about drawing maps. I don't know why.
It's like probably the best artist of this group.
Yeah.
If you tell me where to put things, I'll put them down, but I'm not gonna.
You can just draw a bunch of X's.
Gina, what's the
Yeah.
what is the my pins from my jacket, my sword from my jacket was digging into my side.
Wait,
Ow!
you're being pierced by your
wait,
sword?
It was.
Did you give yourself the safe word? Otherwise, put them back. You didn't release.
I think ouch.
It's like Godric
It's never
Gryffindor's
the safe
sword.
door.
The irony of that is
I want
so
that.
delightful.
Yeah, it's so cool. Huh? Yeah.
Port
so
Estrella.
Sorry, Port Estrella. Okay. So we're very distractible. Okay. We've
You're
got the
Asking me a question.
yes, the national park. The
Oh,
like,
what's the name of the
what's
national
the name of the
park?
national
Okay.
park? You know, give me a name of somebody
Yeah, yeah.
famous who endowed it.
Bill Gates.
As a suggestion, it does not have to be. Depends on how real you want it to be or not. But Gaspar de Portola, he was the one that came up and explored the area.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay.
Cool.
So is there?
So what's the name of the national forest now?
Portola?
Portola?
Gaspard de Portola.
Gaspar de Portola.
It's P-A-R. No D.
Gaspard. Okay.
You always put the D in everything.
And I assume people just
Yeah,
go
because-
camping all over the area.
Portola.
Gaspard de Portola.
P-O-R-T-O-L-A.
Here you go. I wrote it down. You can just copy it.
I was just,
But, thank you.
I was just gonna make shit up.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Gaspar de Portola.
Put standing stones.
I'm just gonna wait
Someone
for the
in the
map.
back.
Yeah,
I'm not
you got
writing
it.
all this stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
No worries.
I should have said please.
So it's a state park, let's say.
Yeah.
Standing stone.
Gaspard de Portola.
Maybe
State
they're
Park.
trying to make it a national park so
Yeah.
they can get funding because every other year it tends to burn down. And they
yeah.
have to use state funds as opposed to federal funds. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
They want, wait.
Okay.
this is
Too real.
Too real. Yeah.
Right. Ow.
Welcome to like the California game.
We're the Californians.
Oh, good.
And I think all,
Californians.
well, most of the games in Happy
Californians.
Jack are a little California.
It's true. Yeah. And yeah, I know we were talking about that like right after I'd come up with the setting for this, and there was like oh yeah, we have a few too many. Everything's like set in Los Angeles. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Oops.
cool. And this isn't going to be any different.
It's like, well, we're really sorry that we put everything in Los Angeles, so we're going to make this fictitious place. It's on the West Coast,
Right.
slightly
Yeah.
towards the south.
Exactly.
There's a
Yeah.
port.
It's not Los Angeles. What do you want, Internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a
I was once
Mexican name.
described as aggressively
Right.
Californian, so
Aggressively California.
Word.
Okay.
What else do we need to know?
So, okay, that's a good setup for the town. So now let's talk about the freehold. Okay. So this is the place where the actual font is, the actual spot where magic and glamour and dreams well up from the dreaming, allowing Fae a safe haven and a place to recharge and reconnect with the magical world and the spirit of Arcadia. What is this place that the four of you are charged with protecting?
can I kill this?
Yes.
Please. Yeah.
Question for you.
Yeah.
As protectors of the freehold, do we have particular influence over it more so than anyone else, or is it still sort of anyone's game?
Yes, you sort of have say over like who's allowed in, who's allowed out. But there's sort of a general feeling of like, you know, you mainly want freeholds to be free, right?
Yeah.
But it also it takes on the personality of the
Well, we
That's
the
what I'm
motley.
trying to figure out. Like,
mortals don't
Yeah.
have to be like in and out of it, but we'd
Yeah.
have to be able to
Welcome changeling.
hospitality
Yeah.
for changelings.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if you've ever seen Gravity Falls, but like, are we getting like weird apocalypse looking things because Maimrie happens to be part of one of the protectors, or is it like always sort of the same with no influence as to who
I kind of
happens to
Freehold. Are you
take
living at
care
the
of it?
Freehold?
Yeah. It kind of.
I'm kind of a minor, so I don't think I would.
Oh, are you living with parents?
Yeah, I'm 16 years old, man.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean you live at home. But okay.
No,
Okay.
my parents travel a lot, so I'm usually by myself.
Okay.
No. I think it can be whatever we want it to be.
Okay.
So there's really not a limit on like, oh well, we have this group of characters, so it's going to be like this.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
It can be anything from like this could be a hotel, it could be a coffee shop, it could be a park, you know, like
Okay. I feel like we talked about it briefly, but I don't remember.
I don't
so.
remember us talking about it.
There was, I think he said the same thing where it was like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, we-
and it,
Yeah.
we
I
never
had
confirmed.
2 ideas.
Okay, go
But
for
do
it.
you have an idea?
I have ideas, but that's fine. Go for it
Well,
first.
2 ideas. One would be that it's like an old Victorian house that on the first floor has like artisanal shops. So there's like an artisanal tattoo artist, but there's like somebody who does, woodwork, and there's somebody who does, or that it's a cave on the cove
It's a cave. Okay.
of the beach.
Rob?
I go both ways on that one. I like both of them. I was thinking,
let the record show Rob likes to go both ways. You heard it here first.
Timestamp?
Yeah.
45 minutes, 48
it's
seconds.
been multiple seasons, guys. So, never mind.
Sorry, derailed you.
I'm gonna.
You had ideas.
This is what it's
my
like
vote.
to play with
Yes.
you.
Until
You're
you
just constantly
you've got
derailed.
Sexy brain.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, taking maybe a little bit idea of that Victorian house is doing like an in-town winery kind of B&B, right? So like
Yeah.
you still. So the way that I look at it is because we want someplace that's going to evoke imagination and going to evoke
Exactly.
like thought and like a purity, and so it's just on a rise above the ocean, but but the house faces. The house goes around, so you have eastern-facing windows and western-facing windows, and so you always see the sunrise coming up and the sunset, and it's just always like sometimes the fog rolls in and like has the swirls that you can see around it, and it evokes a lot of natural beauty.
I like the idea of us creating an area called like maybe like Bonito Hills or something that's sort of like a more posh living area that has a lot of these old sort of Victorian homes in it, At some point recently, it was kind of in decline, and a lot of that property got snapped up by people. But now it's like a lot more expensive and a lot better off because these people sort of like refurbished and redid this, and that sort of sits in the middle of
Shitty
that.
gentrification.
Shitty gentrification, exactly. But
So the people that used to be able to live there are, unless they're there, they can't.
Well,
live
but
there.
they were all hippie burnouts, and so
Yeah.
most of them are dying now, unless they're Keith Richards. So
no, but there was a lot of abandoned old homes that just were
They're getting
abandoned.
flipped and redone.
yeah,
And made nicer.
that people had been there for years. They just kind of died off without any errors and stuff like that, and so
Yeah, but because of the type of area that it's in, it's not drawing like those a bunch of those tech idiots. It's actually drawing a different group of people that sort of just want to have like this.
The artists.
The artists and
You can
writers,
say the
artists.
gays. It's
Well, I'm certain there would be some.
there are gays in tech. That's unfair, Adam.
Fallon
Stop narrowing an entire group.
Fallon is a tech idiot. My 2 ideas were a farmer's market, the space where we would have a farmer's market, or my brain said laundromat, and like that's stupid, but like
there's no stupid idea. Just throw it out there.
I mean, like when I part of it is that I personally, Clara, like doing laundry at 2 a.m.
Space for people to play, and it's run by an old school like Gygax freaking old D&D guy who owns the place.
That could be in the
That's
in
not
the,
magical,
in
though.
the in the weird like sort of artist shops
Exactly.
of the, like where they've got the the cool coffee bean
Yeah.
place with the game
So-
tables.
I feel
and
like you
We
can
can marry
combine
these ideas,
everything.
yeah.
So it could be a big Victorian house at the top of the hill that's surrounded by the other Victorian houses, and this one particular house it's like there is the vegan tattoo artist.
Yeah.
There is a woodworker artisan, or like maybe a local artisan consignment shop where you can buy different arts.
Yeah. That
So-
people
And
own
then
them.
So, if you've been to PV, you know how
Service.
there are like, God, I'm describing more Southern California. I'm so sorry.
We live in paradise,
you are.
everybody. It's
Yeah.
just what we're gonna play.
You can go up you can go up the hill, and there are a bunch of like little downtowny kind of areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it could be the plaza at the top of the hill where
Yeah.
they built the long strip of
Storefronts.
storefront of what used to be old homes that are now converted into
Yeah.
apartments on top and shops underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way it kind of
Not by the
has.
golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that it would be the area that people call the plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be the plaza.
Yeah.
Or like Benito Plaza or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Benito
Yeah.
Hills.
Yeah.
And the only reason I kind of dug the old house thing is because I could picture, like, it could have been some founding father, mother person's huge mansion. So it's got
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to be able to live there.
Yeah.
Well,
How about
it still
Plaza
could.
Bonita?
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's fine.
it used to
Yeah.
be, and then they've just like they did
Then-
Hearst Castle, but then they just turned it into
Yeah.
apartments.
So maybe it could even be like it has that combo. Like, was it you that was saying B&B, Rob?
Yeah.
So that it's got, just like a hotel would have like the little gift shop. So this
Yeah.
has like the front rooms are these
Yeah.
cool like artist rooms, and then there's the cool coffee shop with the game room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the stuff, but the back and the upstairs
game
is like
cafe.
a B&B.
But but it would be like it would be 3, 4, or 5
Yeah.
times a regular house.
Yeah.
Like on this block.
For sure.
You know, like it would be
And like
massive.
old school Victorian, where
Yeah.
the kitchen is like in the basement, so
Yeah.
that who's their founder? That like it's the old, you know how like the
Oh.
Wrigley property.
Yeah.
Who's the really
on-
rich guy who
Yeah.
built this
Benito.
like complex? Benito.
Jorge Benito.
Well, yeah. So Rancho
Well,
Benito Hills,
It
yeah.
used to be
Oh,
like
wow.
Rancho Benito.
Yeah.
From the Benito
Yeah.
family, who wasn't Spanish but came in the Mexican Alta California.
Yeah, and let's just say that he actually set up a vineyard here.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Awesome.
And so Benito wines
I love that.
are still being manufactured
Yeah.
today
Indeed.
by people of his family.
Organic artisanal wines.
It is
Jesus.
the hottest
This
bachelorette
is
spot
me
now.
being jokey. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
No,
right.
it's not
yeah.
Temecula. You stop that. It's much more refined.
Yeah.
There is no imagination in Temecula, just hormones.
That was so sad,
I don't disagree.
but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Also,
I
there
speak
are, like,
truth.
Bachelorette parties in the wineries up north. That's okay.
There are, but
Okay.
Right. So
Great.
I just
like
so,
that.
yeah.
since I'm working on the freaking map, I just want to make sure that I got everything that we
you
got.
should show people that's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's
so
a beautiful map.
I just want to make sure that I got everything on here. I got Port Estrella, which is like the actual Bay Area with the shops and stuff.
Yeah.
I got Estrella High. I got Benito Plaza and Benito Hills. I got Gaspar de Portola National Forest with some trees and some standing stones and stuff.
Cool.
And then I have Mission San Drago and Mariposa Art Colony, and I have the 101 running right
and
there.
the only thing we're
Yay.
missing is CPU.
CPU.
CPU,
yes.
that's what I need. Okay.
Oh,
I knew there was
yeah.
something I was not.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was it called again?
Coastal Polytechnic
Polytechnic
University.
University.
I love that.
I love
so much.
CPU.
I know.
I'm
Now
so
I kinda wanna
ashamed of
go there.
myself and proud of myself at the same time.
As am
I'm
I.
proud of you.
That's your. Isn't that like your permanent state?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a war.
It's why
Because
we
I know
love
that's my personal state.
See, now if you ride that middle, you understand what it's like to be a changeling. like, wow, terrible jokes, and yet I want to be smart. Yeah.
I think you have to be smart to do terrible jokes because it's word association.
I agree.
No, to consciously do it and like this is
Yeah.
going to be terrible and make that decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be smart.
Yeah.
Some
And
people
also
are-
soulless.
Oh yeah, or heartless.
yeah.
Porque no los dos.
Right?
See.
Okay, so...
So we each
So
get
I
a
know...
nightmare.
right. So we know Maimrie is a high school student. That's
Yeah.
that's her
Okay.
job.
What's the name of your high school again? It's on there. Right?
Estrella High.
Estrella
Okay,
High.
Estrella High.
EHS.
Fallon does white hat hacking. I assume you have your just own little place where you do all this.
Yes, I think. Well, so
Can we combine. Do you maybe own the laundromat near the plaza, and you have your apartment above the laundromat?
It would be near the school.
I would actually say
Oh.
no to the laundry. I might get rid of nix the laundromat now that we just have it as a port, as
Okay.
the whole thing.
Benito Plaza is close to CPU.
But there's a college, so you could totally have that laundromat that was by where I had my college apartment off, which was called Suds and Duds, which was a bar
Yay.
connected to a laundromat.
Yeah.
So we could totally
Such a
have
good
that.
awesome.
idea.
Right?
In
Yeah.
general,
Make
like
that now because
Right.
college students love that shit.
Suds and Duds,
Yeah.
and also late night dim sum, which doesn't exist down here.
Yeah.
I was actually I had pictured Fallon actually the gentrified shitty, well, nice places, economically awful.
Yeah.
Places, just because like as we've been kind of building this world and these characters, I think she mostly does freelance work now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know a lot of tech guys who just
Consulting.
like
Yeah.
made money and just don't do things with it. So they like
Yeah.
thought proper. They're like, well, I guess I live in the one room now of this big house.
Right. Yeah.
So that's sort of
Okay.
how I imagine them.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's,
Yeah.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
ruins anyone's.
Do you want to live at the freehold?
I might. Where did we put the weird gentrified? Up there. There it
Yeah,
is.
because that's where it is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right by the freehold,
That's
so it
CPU.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So you have one of the houses in that same area
Yeah.
nearby.
They
yeah.
bought one of the houses
Yeah.
and just sort of
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
should be renovating it, and it just hasn't gotten around to it.
Nice. Okay. And then Tomas works at the police station,
Yeah.
obviously.
Ooh, that's right.
Police
Yeah.
detective.
So you should put a police station there somewhere.
Next to the
Police
high school.
headquarters, at least.
I'm putting it in between the high school and the college.
That's a
Yeah,
great
that's
idea.
good.
You're,
Yeah.
you're a detective, though, right?
Yeah.
You're not like a beat cop.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
a beat cop.
Yeah. Yes.
Can CPU have an Isla Vista style area?
Oh, yeah.
If you guys, for
don't
those
even
who
know
don't
what
know
that
what
is. I don't know
Isla
what that
Vista
is
is,
either.
Santa Barbara.
in SBS, no,
UCSB.
the other one, UCSB, the other one. UCSB, they have an area that's mostly occupied by students off campus, and it's sort of where all the big parties are.
There was a
Oh,
big
uh-huh.
shooting there about 4 years ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that
that's,
too.
Oh, that's what that area
Yeah.
was. Okay.
That too,
all
but
right.
it's mostly known just it's
But
a
it-
lot of student housing.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
It's sort of one of the really. I would imagine it's a really. It's probably it would have existed anyway, just
Yeah.
because that's what happens when you have a college town.
Yeah.
So what do you want to call it?
Oh, for sure.
It may have a colloquial name rather than like a.
Okay.
It's
So-
called the motherboard.
Yes. It's just a bunch of smaller.
It's
houses.
actually a
Yeah.
boardwalk, but they call it the motherboard.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's where more of
It's
the
a bo-
local
it's got a bo-
shit
yeah.
is, and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
the karaoke bars.
Yeah.
It's
and
all the cheap.
It's all the
cheaper
college.
stuff.
It's all the college. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like $1 natty ice
Yeah.
pitchers.
The
and,
pizza place that's open at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You've
Yeah.
never had that pizza any other time.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it.
Story checks
Okay.
out.
the motherboard.
I was actually going to say that for the most part, Tommy has a beach bungalow, like a little place off the beach that looks like that. You know, in a lot of coastal towns, you see them all where they're the 2-bedroom, 1-bath, right up on the sand. It almost looks like someone took Atlantic City beach houses and just moved them to the West Coast, like that kind of thing, where even the front yard is kind of sandy.
Yeah.
And so I think I split time between there and the freehold,
Okay.
back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that there's just a stretch of them in the 40s, and it's mostly super old retired grandmothers that have
Yeah.
lived there their whole life, and like me.
Okay.
Kind of like Newport Beach, where there's just a beach.
Yeah.
Except
there's-
poor.
Yeah.
Except for
Not
yeah.
like working class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie, where do you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Are you okay?
Sorry.
Bless you
Yeah.
all?
He's allergic to
Inside.
creativity.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I hate it.
I think I want to live in the whatever we call.
Do you live in the freehold?
Yeah, in the freehold.
I was gonna say,
Bonita
you and I-
Hills.
You and I talked
I don't
about
know, did we call it
about
that?
Charlie couch surfing as well,
Yeah.
or rooming with Fallon, who hasn't figured out you live there. That was
Yeah.
the other
I mean,
thing we had talked about,
yeah.
but you can change
No, I kind of like that, but I kind of like being able to live at the freehold. And
Oh,
being able
please
Yeah.
to
do.
But then
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then-
yeah.
go to the
when you have to
beanery
do
and stuff.
when you have to do things for the freehold, is that when you skip out to other couches for a little bit? You're like, oh, too much responsibility.
Yeah.
Someone else can take over for a bit.
This is work now. I
Is
live
that
somewhere
that
else.
kind of your attitude? Yeah, or
Well,
no?
that's a good question because if we all don't stay at the freehold, then who is there? Somebody that we have? Does somebody have a retain? What do we call a retainer?
Yeah, so
Okay.
so
Oh,
you
do we have
guys
to babysit it
'Cause I
like
have-
all the time?
I have
Um,
dreamers, but I didn't
yeah.
take a mentor, or is it a retainer?
Oh, I
So
didn't
yeah,
have
so
that.
there's you can have a retainer, which is basically
But I
an
didn't
enchanted mortal
Yeah.
that does things for you. But you guys can also have allies, other changelings that basically watch things for you. The four of you, and we'll get into this very soon. We're going to start talking about your recent past. But the four of you are charged with protecting this freehold.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to be there at all times, but you need to be cultivating the atmosphere around it,
Yep.
making sure it's welcome, making
Yeah.
sure it's protected if it's ever under threat.
Yeah.
Because there are bad changelings. There are the autumn people who are so banal that they actually unconsciously or subconsciously seek out places of glamour and
Well,
just
that's
try
right.
to
I don't-
destroy them.
And the autumn people is every
Yeah,
other
why?
Wednesday,
Yes.
right? Okay, here on Happy Jack.
Oh my God, we're gonna be
Yes.
alternating with the autumn people
adorable.
game. That's fine.
Yeah.
Then I
We
changed
should
my
fight them.
answer, and
Yes.
I do think Fallon is going to end up having to move into one of the
that's a
upper
good
apartments.
Yeah.
Just a sense of responsibility.
Just the sense
Because I'm
of
like,
because
Yeah.
they're also
reimagine my character, or
well, they're also just the most responsible person
Yeah.
in the group.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
And we
oh,
can
actually,
also
you're pretty responsible.
we can also
like them all
we can have there are NPCs that can have things going on. If you guys are all like, no, we have an NPC who kind of manages things for us, I'm not going to be like, oh, you guys are off pursuing a
Yeah.
story. Now I'm going to attack your freehold. Aha.
No, I know
Yeah.
you would do that, but it also seems like I mean we should have a. I don't know. I would want
It's-
to have more like stake in the freehold than just having it be like where you go
Yeah.
to get glamour back.
Yeah, I just as much as this is a sort of starting place, and there will be story tied to it, but I'm not going to play kind of gotcha with it, and I don't want you to feel tied to it. If the four of you are like, oh, we absolutely want to like play around and develop the town, and we're protecting the freehold, and we're going to do all our story here, and that's the thing you're all interested in, we'll absolutely explore that. But I don't want you guys to be like, oh, well, let's go off and have an adventure in Portland, and I'm like, haha, you lost your freehold because you left this at a,
Yeah.
Well, and I
I'm
could
not gonna play
picture-
that.
I could picture you having like a suite upstairs,
Oh, yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
that, and like we were talking about, like where I just kind of took over a room because you
Yeah.
totally invited me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some
You're
point
like,
I was like,
really?
take the couch.
It's like
Oh,
a vampire.
Yeah.
She's here again. She's
When-
here
Yeah.
again.
I just,
Oh.
I imagine Fallon just doesn't notice.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're here a lot. Yeah, I
Right.
live here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Goes
You're like,
back to
huh,
whatever.
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
yeah.
I also think
Yeah.
if we wanted someone who worked for us, who also maybe stewarded the freehold,
Uh-huh.
I imagine Fallon might need someone who also keeps house.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
That's what I was wondering.
A major
So-
domo.
Yeah.
Not that I want to, but did anybody happen to take the? And of course, I can't even find the freehold thing right now. But
Oh,
did
take
anybody
points?
Take like a retainer or?
All I have is dreamers.
I have a
mentor?
I have
Or-
dreamers
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Me too,
s-
dreamers.
Okay.
Contacts.
So we can
So-
just do an NPC. Or
Yeah, so we'll do an NPC,
Okay.
which will function as a 1-point retainer shared among all of you.
Okay.
And that will be they will be a changeling as well.
Okay.
I'm thinking probably a boggin,
But they're not.
Funny what
Oh,
they
I
do.
like
but yeah.
It'd be awesome if the guy that we basically arrested
Newt.
as part of his
Newt?
punishment. Newt,
As part
part
of-
of his
No.
punishment is that he has to be our butler.
Nope.
That's
I do not. I zero amount trust that.
that's Newt's community service.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
Oh yes,
Um,
please do.
Well,
That's garlic cheesy bread.
Yeah, I know that's coming around here.
Yeah, I think it should be a
Take it out of the
boggin.
bag, it's killing me.
Oh yeah.
I love boggins. And I kind of want them to be like old and sort of seniory.
I like that.
I already had a piece. All yours.
Yeah, no thanks.
Mine now.
And it's sweet bread, so it tastes
Yeah.
amazing.
It's such a weird combo.
You know, I want it to be Olympia Dukakis from Tales of the City. Yeah, the original Tales of the City that those like decades ago, and basically Olympia Dukakis played a trans woman, an elderly trans woman, and before it was called a trans woman, anyway, she's just like the sweetest and like most badass. So,
I'm all for that.
It's like
Yeah, no, I love
Olympia Dukakis slash
Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith. With a little bit of what's her name from Golden Girls?
Estelle Getty?
No, B. Arthur.
Yeah.
With some B. Arthur thrown in.
Maud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but all in a like tiny little like 4.5 foot package.
I love that.
Is that
Can
cool?
she have an accent? And which one do you want to pick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, she's
yeah.
already. Her
Wait.
personality is
Wait,
super
wait.
awesome.
Right?
Wait,
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you remember, maybe no, but do you remember Maggie from the game you ran for us for Rainbow Railroad?
Maggie,
I just remember
The
all cute
the
Scottish
medium who
people.
was
the
accompanied.
medium. Oh, yeah. I'll have to like listen to that and get that voice back.
Yeah.
If,
Kinda-
not her, but if you don't want
Yeah.
to, but
Well,
like,
Yeah.
I love her so
But we're
much.
totally gonna call her Maggie.
And here's a cool sort of side thing: is somebody in the chat room suggested that the place could be legendary haunted, like one of the haunted California locations.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh,
Well, actually, I was going to
yeah.
bring something up
really?
fairly. Okay.
Oh, could that fit?
What I
Yeah.
want my parents' place to be is basically one of those old Victorian mansions that is allegedly one of the most haunted places.
Oh, see, that's awesome.
At the first floor is actually a museum to cryptids, UFOs, and all kinds of crazy crap.
Yes.
My 3 dreamers are actually the employees of that museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Uh-huh.
parents are
Freehold
like,
gunmen.
are
Alien Con,
Basically alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
which was 2 weeks ago.
What do your parents do? Are they like paranormal
No,
experts?
that
or anything?
Tsoukalos guy is actually the guy that has the Centauri hair that popped up here that's always
Yeah.
on Asian Aliens. That's my dad.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, there's like this little mini museum at the bottom floor that has like there's obvious evidence that all this exists. You know, there's like there's a Sasquatch foot
Mold. Yeah.
you know, a bunch of like stuff. It's obviously very tourist trappy, but the guys that work there that are my 3 dreamers take it stupid serious.
See,
Uh-huh.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
and only most of that is Maimrie's doing.
Yeah, and only most of it.
Yeah. And
Like
is that
80%.
maybe closer to the edge of the park, which is where?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's basically
Yeah.
since the actual Benito Hills are
Yeah.
adjacent to the National Forest. I'm going to say it's
Yeah.
very close right here.
Oh
so-
man,
Oh,
you
it's
travel
on the
far
border.
for
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want a truly epic cryptid that lives in that park, that is legendary in that park. So I'm talking Jersey Devil level awesome.
Okay.
So that's your homework assignment.
Sounds good to me.
So, okay, yeah, that's beautiful. Yes, please have that. Okay, so all right, so Maggie is a boggin, and she is the housekeeper and basically runs the B&B part of the freehold for you.
I imagine she's not actually my housekeeper. She just self-elected herself.
Yeah, because you needed keeping. Yeah. Yeah.
Trolls can't subsist on Twinkies alone.
Lies.
That's not true, but Fallon was pretty close to finding out.
Yeah, so she's a boggin that keeps the B&B for you. So so she is a 1 point ally for all of you. Okay. So let me pull up the freehold. So
Joke on.
okay, but
Are you allergic to creativity as well?
No.
Okay.
Gina, I would appreciate it if you
I
did
choked
that.
on
Thank you.
stuff.
Yeah, please don't.
don't die.
This is the curse.
We have had a hard enough time getting this group together as it is.
It wasn't even. I don't know what it was.
Aw.
It was a boggin
Okay. Right.
or a nurgle.
Okay, where's the freehold
I'm gonna
stuff? Freehold stuff. Okay.
I know, I couldn't find it. What page?
It's under holdings. Page 169.
Okay.
Okay. So, we're gonna say this is a large freehold. So this is a 4-point freehold
Oh, it's right there.
that you guys have. So a 4-point freehold, and these are like, you can each put this on your character sheet as a background you have.
Okay.
You can, and you can make use of all 4 of you can make use of the same mechanics for this. So, if you're in 2 different places at 2 different times, obviously you can't both have Maggie with you, but but otherwise, So, I guess there isn't an allies.
There is now.
Yeah. You know what? She's a 1-point mentor for all of you.
Do you?
Okay.
Oh,
Not retainer, mentor.
Yeah, mentor.
Okay.
at some point, we need to talk about whether
Your
she's not
mentor.
my mentor.
I think your mentor should be someone different.
Okay.
So yeah, we need to talk about who your mentor
Right, so
is.
we can do it off camera too.
Okay.
Freehold.
So, also the 4 of you effectively have 3-point title.
Cool.
3-point title?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And because of the shared income of the freehold, each of you can bump up your resources by 1 point.
Oh, okay, cool.
So whatever you had, just add 1 more. Does that max you out?
I might be
Okay.
maxed out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already at 4, yeah, you probably, you won't.
Oh no, I'm not yet, but I
Okay.
just brought it to
Resources?
4.
Okay, yeah. Resources, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I should say it takes you up to 3. So if you're already 3 or above, you don't get an extra point.
Look,
It's probably more realistic.
This is a fantasy.
But you
I
can
got
have
to be-
4 if you want.
Again,
if you wanna buy them.
You
based
spent
on,
it already.
Based on this character, I don't
Yeah.
think they've done anything with it. It's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, you can bring up to 4. That's fine. Yeah, take it up to 4.
They're not using it for anything
Yeah.
important.
If
Exactly. Yeah.
I kind of want a chimerical companion, which we didn't
Okay.
talk about last time.
We did not, but you can have one. Yeah.
Do you have a preference with whether I go to 2 or 3?
No, I really don't. If you
Okay.
can afford 3, let's
Okay.
go. Feel free to go to 3. Yeah.
Sorry,
we can
I
work
turned
that
myself
in.
off when I was joking.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
I have a chimerical
Yay.
He's a puppy. Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Guppy.
So,
His name is Guppy, and he's either a dachshund or he's the dachshund retriever mix with the.
You need a lab. If you need a full-on water dog. Is what you
No,
need.
no, no. He's chimerical. He's.
That's true. He's chimerical.
he can,
Can be what
yeah,
you want.
he can
Chimerical,
he
yeah.
can swim
I want
underwater.
him to be like,
as much-
I don't know. I just picture like a wiener dog,
I love
like
dachshunds.
a dachshund, or
That's
that.
adorable,
Have you seen
yeah.
that golden retriever dachshund mix? They're all short, but they got the derpy ears.
Oh,
Cute. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they're
Guppy
Yeah.
the puppy.
Okay.
We will require pictures of Guppy the puppy.
Oh,
This is true.
Okay.
It's funny because you're a mermaid dog.
Yeah. Am
Oh,
I?
Seals are mermaid dogs.
Yeah, you're a mermaid dog with a dog mermaid.
Yeah.
Yep.
for this.
Okay, so I want you guys to tell me a story, because a year ago, on April 15th,
16th
16.
or 15th.
on April 15th,
Oh, tax
Day
day!
we
Last
saved
year.
our Saint
Tax day.
Is
Yeah.
that the day of the?
a y-
No, it's the
no,
day before.
16th.
The day before.
Okay.
On Saint's Day Eve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly a year ago on April 15th.
Man.
So the little prequel adventure that we had last time of you guys going down to court to get Newt. So let's say that happened around July or August of last year.
Okay.
Okay. So a couple of months after the events we're going to create now. So a year ago on April 15th, the 4 of you were faced with a challenge that you overcame to the great glory of your personal standing within the Fae community. And I'm kind of going off of like the masks when we first came together.
Yeah.
So something similar to that. But let's sort of round robin create a story of what happened that ended with Queen Ilios coming to Port Estrella to grant the four of you stewardship of this very important
Is she
freehold.
kind of like the West Coast region?
She's the Queen of Pacifica, yeah. Okay. So Ailios. Yes, so Queen Ilios is the Queen of Pacifica.
Okay.
There is High King David, who is the king of all of the Fae. But they're different different kingdoms, all throughout the world. But all Fae, at least in name, or at least in formality, recognize High King David as the ruler of all the Fae that are here in the mundane world. So, but this particular region, which basically stretches along the coast from Baja California all the way up to southern Canada, but just along the edge, doesn't actually go out into the desert. It's just all the lush redwoods area, basically, and
everything west of the Sierra Nevadas.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So that's specifically not Fresno.
Right. Nobody wants Fresno.
That's where the nightmare lives.
Well, that's why we call it the Big No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kurt Potts.
Not at all.
No. Love you, man, but no.
Right. We think Fresno is nightmare because it keeps the pots away from us. So.
Ooh.
That was so sweet of you.
That was also not true.
Okay. So, the Queen of Pacifica, a year ago, because of events that the four of you were pivotal in, granted the four of you stewardship of this particular freehold. So, let's start with Gina.
Okay.
Was this a physical challenge, a social challenge, or a mental challenge?
I think it was a physical challenge.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like that because you guys aren't exactly physical, but it's a lot of fun.
But I'm just picturing, I don't know, I had something in my head, so that's why physical seemed...
Well, you guys didn't go full on armor and swords kind of Fae. I mean, I know you got a sword. But you didn't embrace that.
There is definitely a divide between both sides of this.
Yeah, I'm physical. Are you physical?
I'm a little physical and a little facey. Social.
Yeah.
I'm physical and then facey.
Yeah.
Which is,
And you guys are both kind of mental?
I do Pilates. Fuck you.
You're actually all pretty balanced, honestly.
No, actually, she's actually kind of more of a social man.
I do not do social.
I was going to say, I don't know if I'm balanced.
Yeah. You two, I think, prioritized physical.
Yeah.
Maimrie prioritized mental. And mental, not social?
Mental, and I dumped a whole lot of previous points into social.
Me too.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
no, I'm all mental.
I'm mental and physical.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm physical and then
social.
Yeah, I have
physical
two
and then social.
specializations in my stats, and that's in social ones and mental.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So it was a physical challenge.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even better.
Jim.
See, sounds like Double Dare.
I know.
Was this physical challenge, was it something that spilled over into the mundane world, or was it entirely chimerical?
I'm going to say the situation was entirely chimerical, but the way we handled it required some explaining to do.
Okay. Gotcha.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Clara,
I like
Yes.
it.
was Queen Ilios a witness to the challenge, or did she come in afterwards and acknowledge you?
Ooh. I think she barely missed it. Like, she was coming in the next day.
Oh, uh-huh.
So she maybe she came in later, but it could have not been.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right. And this will be the last of the one or the other questions, and then we'll do some more open-ended questions. Rob, was the previous steward of the freehold worthy of that honor or not?
Yeah, I think they were.
They
I
were.
think that everybody kind of looked up to them, and it was one of those like people that had been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see that as much as they were beloved and respected, that time was changing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the way it's looked upon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's all right. What was the physical challenge? What was the challenge that the four of you were faced with?
Was it something that was trying to get through the trod that we saw like warning signs of something, and we tried to alert the queen, but that, like Clara was saying, she couldn't get there quite in time. We had to. I don't want to fill in too many blanks.
No.
I
like that idea, and I think it was something. I think whatever Jim talked about earlier with like the deep nightmare and stuff like that, and things coming over.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there was a concentrated push from 3 directions to take over the center point of the trods. So 101 and the oceanic, like they were trying to converge on all 3 fronts in order to gain a foothold, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of that was a thought that occurred to me, but I'm open to.
Is there an
changes.
element of, because I feel like I vaguely remember this, but I could be thinking of something else. Is there an element of the Fae that feel like they should be able to retake?
The deep nightmare?
The dreaming?
The dreaming, like that.
I am fairly certain that several of the houses of the She
That's what
were,
I thought.
that were basically repulsed from the deep dreaming back.
Sort of the noble houses that.
There are actually some houses that are very focused on that. One in particular,
Okay.
I think, actually, and that are more militant than others. But the thing is, changelings are not exactly very powerful in the real world, or we're still sort of licking our wounds. So it's not really a feasible thing. One of the ideas that I had was that a kaiju try to cross from the side.
I like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Purple kaiju.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, and we had to find some way to freaking fend it off.
Yeah.
My thought was that regardless of what the local history actually was, San Drogo's Day is actually a big deal for both Fae and humans, just because it's a big party and it sort of releases that, like, the city celebrates it, so it's a big deal, and it would be worth Queen Elias coming up for.
Yeah.
Because if anything, it probably also rejuvenates Fae just by being a big whimsical day for us.
I love the idea of them having like a big fair.
It's a
Yeah.
I think it's a huge. It is the biggest day of the year in Port Australia. There's a huge arts and music festival, and you know,
totally.
it's just it is.
There's a parade.
No, a bunch of Fae from all of Pacifica just sort of like concentrate here to party out.
And like,
I
feel like humans come too, and they're called Drogos.
What did you say that the whole Drogo thing sort of slipped into the festival, so a lot of it has been marketed towards Game of Thrones fans?
There's been a shift in recent years.
I was going to say, so for Jews, Purim is supposed to be a day where you get so drunk you can't tell friend from enemy. San Drogo's Day, you get so drunk even the ugliest person looks attractive.
Oh, yes.
So Tuesday.
Yeah, I was going to say Saturday at 2 a.m.
Yeah, with apologies to the Catholic faith. Anyway, but
I think that's wonderful. Yeah, it's a spirit of
that.
celebration to like stop thinking about physical traits and focus on enjoying each other.
No, St. Drogo's Day, the day where everything's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
The
but
less hot.
leading,
Right.
leading into
The
the
anti-Adam Day.
the
Right.
101, what's the
Trod.
The ocean.
this ocean trod. It's also probably a really attractive day to bring some things that don't want to be around, or that we don't want gaining power.
Because there's so much traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically just lights us
attracts-
up on a
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
Which would probably drag either wild kaiju.
No,
I like
the
that.
idea, I like the idea of this
Uh-huh.
kaiju being generated across the coast, but then this festival being so powerful and filled with so much chimerical energy that it goes, Nani, and starts walking.
Oh.
I'm literally imagining the like female cartoon Godzilla from the like
Oh,
really
yeah, yeah.
obscure
the
Muppet Babies.
Hanna-Barbera,
No, the other one.
the baby.
Yeah, the
Baby Godzilla?
Baby Godzilla, the little girl one with like the heart. Like,
Yeah.
oh god. My goodness.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm just looking up a word. Okay, so
That's not
Godzuki.
Godzuki, though, right?
Oh,
Godzuki's
adorable.
no. No, I was looking to see if like a Polynesian or Hawaiian word for river or current. But if somebody can find that for me.
Yeah, I will.
I get really slow internet here for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
So, okay, so basically, this very large kaiju started coming through the trod, drawn by the building energy of the feast. Oh,
Ana'awa.
Manawa,
Yeah.
Inkewa Manawa, or just Manawa?
Whatever. You do what you want.
Okay, all right. I'll have to look into it, but
Getting pink from the wine.
it's the.
a little teardrop on its head going, Nani.
So what did the four of you do to protect the city, the freehold, the festival, etc.?
I had a thought, but I don't want to like.
No, please. This is
put
yes.
brainstorming. That's
right
what it does.
here.
Yes, exactly.
So-
Put the thoughts out there.
I think more of on a crowd control angle, one of us maybe convinced the festival, did something so that the festival, instead of being in just downtown, or what are we calling it?
The Benito Plaza is
Instead
the
of Benito
and the-
Plaza,
Mhm.
Yeah.
They suggested moving it to the artist colony by the mission, and definitely farther away from the coast.
Okay.
But wouldn't that be something that we'd have to plan far ahead of?
Well,
So we
maybe
know that
rerouting a parade route.
I like the idea, and I want to take it the other way.
Awesome.
So you take the power of the people, and the power of the people thwarts and creates like a protective barrier
Okay.
against whatever was coming.
I like. Okay.
Okay.
Another long walk for a short drink of water.
Go.
A traditional way to confuse fairies is to turn your clothes inside out so that you look different. And like somehow someone was like, "Hey everyone, like put on a mask or something," and in the spirit of San Drogo, and it just helped generate that confusion.
Can I make a
enchantment.
suggestion?
Yes, please.
You guys embraced and overcharged the Game of Thrones connection and basically generated a giant chimerical dragon to combat
Nice.
the
Oh my
chimerical
God.
kaiju.
Oh my
Very
God,
similar to what the
yes.
idea.
So-
Oh.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I was
Wait.
thinking that we basically created like chimerical like what you call Power Ranger robots. And
Oh my
Oh.
God, yes!
Oh, that's
we
my
we fought a
God.
kaiju with a robot?
Exactly.
What?
Okay.
What we did was we actually took all of these people that were celebrating, drove them all into CPU to basically sort of like completely destroy the banality of that place. and it sort of popped like a zit in when it comes to creativity. The release of that, all the technology and all of that dream sort of like merged together into one thing, and then all of a sudden, like, why am I in a blue tight spandex outfit?
Yeah.
Wait.
Like,
Is the real reason that we got made the freehold like managers or whatever they were called because we popped the CPU zit rather than because we stopped recording?
For a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a moment,
like
it's gotta go back.
But that's why we got in trouble because remember, like, it was like there was something physical that happened, right?
Yeah.
What ended up happening was a semi-riot happened at CPU when we did this. Because we needed to really rile people up.
They call it a riot.
On top of a thing, just screaming.
They called it a riot.
Wait, how was the thing a CPU thing? Tell me again.
Okay,
I must
so
have missed
basically
something.
what we did was the big festival, we took a big group of them and said, let's go to CPU and party over there.
Yeah.
So we just took a bunch of people that were reveling in this whole creative juice thing from where the beach is over to CPU, and we just started just sort of like
talking to engineers.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
No, but what we did,
100%.
Not kidding.
Getting them high and drunk and getting everybody to have sex with them.
Getting everyone laid.
What we did was that we had all these uptight people.
It is
that
a
were
game
just
for me.
Stressed out.
There it is.
And worried about their studies, and we just completely and totally liberated them because there was just like a bunch. And since it was in the spirit of the Drogo, all these pimple-faced, skinny or fat nerds that never really got laid.
What was the last time you were in college?
I was going to say, how does
the nerds are hot now.
Some of the nerds
How is this related to the
Nerds are real hot now.
the kaiju?
Because this created, Jim.
Yeah, so basically all of this creative energy in this negative space that existed, sort of like.
It was kind of like a beacon. It was something the kaiju was being drawn to destroy. Maybe because the banality of it was calling it like. It was like the.
It was the nuclear power plant. That
I was going to say.
Exactly.
It was like a glamour version of
Yes.
Of like a nuclear power plant. So it's like we could focus that energy and.
So we just had the idea. Says it's obviously going for that. We figured it out somehow, and what we did was we pulled a Ghostbusters 2 and just basically put positive energy into it versus negative energy, and then what ended up manifesting from that, because it sort of grew out of control from what we thought it would be. Was basically the natural, the chimerical spirits of that area that used to live there reawoken and decided to help us. And basically just like went into our heads and said, well, how do you fight that kind of thing? And of course, how do you
giant
fight
robots.
Giant
robots. Engineers. All the engineers would say, giant robots.
Oh,
right, yeah.
They're probably straight up working on that at CPU. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I think that is actually wonderful. That is so good. I love this. Yeah, so basically the four of you sort of manifested chimerical giant robots around you. And at some point you had to like fly up in the air and join all together. With okay. Gina.
Yeah.
Tell me who the previous steward of the freehold was. Who was the baron or baroness that was the steward of this location before you guys?
I think it was a baron, and I'm just picturing a ridiculously florid, long, sort of Irish name, like a very fey. Like here's the secret name. Yeah, like some sort of Gaelic.
Yeah.
Really long name.
More GHs than necessary.
Right? Yeah.
But otherwise, let's see, not garlic.
Morgan Hannon.
Gaelic.
Okay, so you'll get me a name.
Yeah.
Okay, and we know that that they were a good and deserving person, a good leader, maybe a little less progressive than some of the younger crowd was wanting. Let's say they were actually a she.
Okay, cool.
But they chose to listen to the four of you when you started coming up with this idea. I think maybe they were a little uncertain about how to deal with this threat. Mm-hmm. The four of you, all of the Fae in the area were called together to like, how are we going to deal with this? The four of you kind of came up with this plan, and Fallon used all kinds of like social media and internet.
Our Facebook.
Facebook and what did we call it? Flitter. Is the Fae Twitter?
Facebook, Flitter, and there was a really good FAOL.
Yeah. So you used all of the technology to not only like connect it to CPU, but also to spread the word.
Oh yeah.
And Tommy used his police influence to
reroute everybody,
things and
different
get,
road closures,
grease permits through, and convince judges to let this thing happen.
No grease permits through.
Yeah.
Sure, they have permits.
Sure, yeah, they had permits. And then I think especially like Maimrie and Charlie were probably sort of like ringleaders of like fire up the crowd, get everybody going, and and so the four of you were really pivotal in forming the plan to combat this kaiju, and the Baron came through at the end and became the central robot, to form the head.
Yeah.
So, no, I think this is beautiful. It's this perfect blend of pop culture and magic and yeah.
During that
this
episode,
is the dreaming.
I was gonna say during that episode though, he was like very anti. Like he doesn't use any of the Fae social media that we got.
Yeah.
He like thinks it's he's above it.
Yeah.
He has to, like,
Well, I
beat
think at that point, after he saw the success, that he realized that this is still going to be a very active area, and it was like it's one of those moments that like he's up at the head of the robot and he's looking out at the port from the ocean and he doesn't recognize it anymore. Like it doesn't look like his port when he got here, and so I think at that point, like he has that realization, like, oh, maybe I should go somewhere quieter.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should
retire.
Or
if you don't like that, go ahead or me.
Or I'm gonna yes or you.
Mm-hmm.
Or just before it was dispelled, the kaiju dealt a fatal blow.
Oh no.
Killing the Baron, and as he lay dying.
Oh.
No, I can't do that because
No.
I'm soft-hearted.
And this is his
So I
name.
can't view people dying. So
Wait,
no.
you have to have
Okay.
his name before you kill him.
Okay, all right. Let's
It's-
get his name.
Morgan,
Are you going to X card?
No, I'm not.
Oxferry, Strathpeffer,
Oh my God.
Kevin.
Oh, I ordered that the other day.
Kevin.
All right.
Kevin.
You're gonna have to slack that to me,
Ti-
but we'll
Tina
call him.
Brooke.
Yeah.
Tinderbrook.
Okay. But colloquially
Kevin.
known as Baron Morgan.
Yeah, Baron Morgan.
I want him-
Oxferry.
Call
Yeah,
him
there's a
Mr.
bunch
M.
of towns in Scotland.
I want him
Yeah.
to die, but also I want him to live because I'm sad.
I kind of
Yeah.
do too, and I just had
it-
he's got
yeah.
5 names, so.
I also
think
don't
he's
want to have to
gonna
talk to
retire.
him because
Yeah.
he's got to find
Can you be in the old
Hey.
Fae
How
home?
about
Maybe-
this?
yeah.
Did he go to the farm
How about
farm
this?
upstate?
So there was one final attack,
Uh-huh.
and it being a chimerical attack, and him being a far more powerful Fae than we were,
Uh-huh.
basically cancels out that final chimeric attack.
Oh, uh-huh.
But the backlash of banality for canceling something like that magical effect
Yeah.
out petrified him.
Oh.
So he's now
Oh.
a statue, and we're actually sort of trying to figure out a way to bring him back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah?
that. I like
Okay.
that.
I love that too. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Jim's a lot nicer than you are.
I'm so,
I know, right?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Wait, so is the statue in the square now,
Yep,
or is
sure
it,
is.
I think it's yeah. I think it's.
I think it would
yeah.
probably even be
It's-
Benito Plaza.
it's
Uh-huh,
just like
yeah.
at the top of Benito Plaza looking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sad but
Mhm.
happy.
Yeah. It looks out over the whole bay.
It's basically
Yeah.
just him
It's
going
beautiful.
like this because that's what he did to stop the.
Uh-huh.
So it's sort of him looking out over the water with his hands stretched
Yeah.
out like that.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
good.
That's
Hands
so
out,
good.
palm forward for people that are listening.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
front of him, palm forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love
good.
that. Okay. Oh, that's so. Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
It
so Queen Ilios arrived just at that. Is it only 9? Oh, yeah. Okay. So Queen Ilios arrived just as the final showdown was happening. Witnessed the end of the battle, and seeing the good deeds that the 4 of you had done, and recognizing the strength that you all showed working as a team, she chose to leave the freehold in the hands of the 4 of you. And that is what the 4 of you have been doing for the past year, is protecting this place. What is the thing that each of you do connected to the freehold that you're kind of known for? Like, maybe it's welcoming the new people. Maybe it's helping people find a new place to live in America, or maybe it's helping people leave in a way that is, not nightmarish. When they're heading off across the ocean, or maybe you do the mundane stuff. Maybe you kind of watch over the other local changelings. So there's about maybe like,
You said 15 to 20?
Yeah, so there's maybe 13 or 14 other changelings in Port Estrella besides the 4 of you.
And there's always a flux.
And then there's always a flux.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because it's a port town.
yeah, exactly. It's a port town. So at any given time, there's probably as many 20 to 30 changelings in town, but only about 15 of you live here all the time. So something around there. I want to keep the numbers kind of vague so we can,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a port town, so it really does.
Yeah, exactly. The permanent residents, the number is somewhere in the teens, including the 4 of you.
Gotcha.
But we're going to be very vague on what that actual number is, unless it's necessary to the story.
I'm going to say that one of my primary functions is when changelings in this town go overboard and maybe show things that shouldn't be shown.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main things I do is I use my position and influence as what my parents do, is basically trying to play it down as it's just another one of these crazy conspiracies.
Yeah.
You're a Men in Black.
I'm basically that, exactly.
Yeah.
You're the person that you want to have lying to people.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you're good at explaining away the things that people do. Okay. Take an extra point in subterfuge.
In what?
In subterfuge.
Oh, subterfuge.
Subterfuge.
I'm lying.
So.
Oh, that's my 4th button subterfuge.
Yay.
Now, do I need a specialization?
Ooh, yay. Yeah.
I think I not really like a concierge or something like that, but I think I work also part-time maybe as a barista in the but I totally know the nightlife.
Yeah.
This is where you got to do this. This is where this there's a gallery showing at this place. I'm kind of plugged in.
Yeah, you're the
to where to where stuff is happening that's not just touristy but cool local stuff and stuff like that.
And also really
that's
good
what I
at
would
promoting
picture.
the things that are actually good and produce good feelings, and then trying to
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? I like that. Take an extra point in dreamers.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Actually take 2 points in dreamers.
Cool beans. Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last time, but this is how I like to beef up characters rather than giving you a bunch of extra freebie points and having it be
because it means something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I want your story to to kind of
the dots.
Yeah, and also so you get to think about what you do, and then I'll come up with a way for it to help you. So.
Do you want to see a picture of
I was gonna say it looks like you need more time.
Go
I got
for
a
it.
picture of Guppy.
Oh, Guppy the puppy is the best boy.
Oh, Guppy the puppy is best boy.
Oh my
I want
goodness.
6 of those.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
see if you
Built it.
can post it to the forum.
Is he eternally puppy aged?
I think he is. I think I've
He's
had
programmable to
him
be anything you
Yeah.
want him to be.
since I was small. but that he's just seems the same age. Like he's like a year and a half old is what he seems like, and he's super. That's his nature. Is like.
Does he have his own Instagram?
Yeah.
Puppies, guppies of Instagram.
Yeah. With a puppy like that, it better have its own.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He probably does. Look at this
At
cute.
Gup the Pup.
Hey.
I want a fae version of Instagram.
Oh, and by the way, I came up with the
Finstgram.
monster.
What's the monster?
The monster is called El Trapo, which means the rag.
Oh.
And he's a monster that's made up of all of the blankets that were given to the Native Americans of the mission.
Oh god.
And sometimes you can see screaming mouths in the cloth.
I'm so
It's a
upset
creature of
and I
pure
love
nightmare.
That might be a little too real for me.
But you want to discard that, I can change it into something else. But no, he basically
It is
just
really good.
roams the forest and sort of like seeks revenge on those that abuse the Native Americans in this area. So it's sort
I'm
of
imagining like a ghillie suit made of like
exactly, exactly
rags
what
and
I'm picturing
blankets.
too.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's his name?
And like
El Trapo.
it almost
Trapo?
looks like
no, that's really good.
Potato sacks, like those very rough blankets.
like the burlap.
Yeah,
The
burlap. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so upset.
Yeah.
But also I really can't.
Yeah.
Unless like someone else wants to discard it.
No, I'm fine with it.
I mean,
I'm debating.
I know.
I'm
It's,
debating. It's a little.
I know.
It's
For
a
me
little
too, it's
personal.
a little
It's
on the
I was gonna
line.
say, it's
Yeah.
a little real.
I think as long as we don't get too descriptive about any more descriptive about like the origin.
I mean,
That's-
it's
yeah,
a little
that's-
bit of a horror element, but it is a nightmare element.
That's
and we don't
one
want
of-
to touch
I
on
agree.
it all
Right.
that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just leave it off in the thing. And,
Yeah.
And mostly it's sort of described as a thing that parents tell their kids to scare them.
And that's probably like one of the origins, and there are multiple origins and tales about how El Trapo.
Trapo.
Yeah, El
Like
Trapo.
trap with an O at the end.
Okay, yeah. So there are multiple origins about how El Trapo
That's just one of
formed
the
and what they are.
stories,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I like that a little more. It's,
Yeah, I'm cool with
I
that.
have another alternate. Hold on. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So okay.
There could be more than one monster.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, there will be.
Yeah. I mean,
Gee. Okay, so yeah, so what's your niche?
Okay, I think Fallon being somewhat bad at social, but also bad at lying, and a lot of that has sort of reluctantly come into the role of being the petty dispute settler, in that like the step down from the King David cut the baby in half.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of like, it's not the nicest way of being. They're not the nicest at being like, hey, I know you feel bad about this, but they are very just about it.
Yeah,
because
right.
that's very just troll and very.
Yeah, you
silly.
don't think about the emotions of it. You just look at the facts and make a decision.
Yeah, it's like, well, I know you were here first, like.
Yeah.
But also, I think they tend to use their particular wealth to quietly fund restorative projects around Port Estrella.
Okay.
Just so
Kind of like an angel investor.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's cool.
just
That's
because
very cool.
things like the mission is probably running down and needs
Yeah.
the mission and just areas. So like quietly
nice.
combating some of that gentrification,
Mm-hmm.
but like they don't put their name on things.
Yeah.
because that would be
Preventing a lot of like tech billionaires from just coming in and buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and tech billionaires fighting tech billionaires. But also their personal project is adding more greenery to places in like more parks and stuff around Port Estrella.
Yeah. Okay. I think
I don't actually need more anything, I promise you.
I know, but I good stuff. You know.
Also, I may need a changeling accountant.
I think you do.
Actually,
Somebody.
that'd be a great thing to get rid
Yeah.
of some followers.
Yeah, I think you have a retinue. I think I think take 2 points in retinue. What?
Somebody.
No, that's fine. More social. Where is retinue?
No,
It's a
retinue
background.
is a background.
It's a background. So it basically means you have people, you have enchanted mortals who are aware of the Fey world, and they assist you.
Somebody said something earlier when you were saying you were thinking about your mentor and stuff like too, that Maggie could have a sibling or an ex-flame that was one of your. So I could totally picture that being one of your Dilios.
So Fallon's, the reason that I wanted to give Fallon a mentor is because I wanted her to have a knight and her to be squired after the original, after being elevated or whatever they've done.
Yeah.
And so it would be very fun if it was Maggie's ex-flame.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want that to be a thing.
Yeah.
That would be really good, actually.
I would
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So there's totally like a.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Faye lived for a long time.
Yeah.
And don't hold grudges.
Oh, never.
No.
No, that'd be that. Paris got
it. Did you take points in mentor? How many?
I have it's a 4-point mentor.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
We
All right.
keep adding points to things you can't
I
do
know.
that.
It's going to be great. Okay.
It only goes up to 5, so
I
you're
know.
okay.
Right, yeah.
Sooner or later, it will stop.
Yeah.
It's
So,
fine.
Yeah. We'll figure out that character. If somebody comes up as we're like creating a story and be like, oh, can that be my mentor? Then totally. Or we'll come up with something off camera or something. If we So Tommy, what is your role?
The way I see it is, I think that the number of changelings that are currently living in Port Estrella is a good number, and so I think Tommy takes it upon himself to be like a transit captain, and then like, glad you're here. Here's where else you should go that's not here.
Yeah.
And also, so basically, like, directs them towards contacts in LA, contacts in San Francisco, or
like the sheriff from Rambo.
Exactly.
You're
Except
just kind of
much nicer.
tracking everyone.
Yeah.
Which is a very Sluagh thing to do, to just be like, I know where everybody is right now and how many of them there are.
Yeah. And it's also easier for me to protect 13 to 15 as opposed to 25. So
I was going to ask why you didn't want more changelings hanging out in the area, but that's a great reason.
Yeah. And I think that it's such a small area that, like, we've done a really good job of creating this imagination, creating this where we are, that any more we've seen becomes a target. As recent past dictates, that, like, no, spread it out so that you can share your joy elsewhere. Yeah. And not in the sarcastic way, in the I genuinely mean, we're good here, go where other people need you, like Fresno.
Yeah.
Especially
after. Well, let's start at Bakersfield and work our way north. So I think that's part of it, and the other half is activating the student community to engage with, like, the local history and get them excited about it. Yeah. Right? So, like, go ahead.
Okay, so I was thinking about having Fallon also at least support a local LARP in the area. My question is, do you and does Tommy and Fallon, do they want to support, like, the local SCA in that area?
I will tell kids about it. And, well, I'll tell the kids that don't have any friends about it.
Really?
Right? So there's rain. Like, there's rings.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I feel like Tommy works with kids a lot. Like, even though he's kind of, like, dark and gravelly and stuff like that, there's something about him which they connect with. Yeah. Like the no bullshit.
He's a straight talker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to treat you like a person. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you how it is. Yeah. And you have a choice to either respond to it or not. Yeah. And so basically, like, making sure to be like, look, go check out the forest. Go check this out, or have you guys done that? And so, like, if I see, like, the lonely kid on the side, I'd be like, look, there were 7 other lonely kids over there playing in the park.
Go hit each other
Like,
with swords.
So I think that there's the two. There's, like, the mortal and trying to build their imagination base amongst the kids, and the moving the other changelings out to spread the word.
Okay.
Can I ask if you could do one more thing for us?
Sure.
I assume because you're an ex-cop, current PI, correct?
Current cop.
Current cop. Wow. Okay, even better. If you hear about spillover, chimerical spillover, you're the one who lets Maimrie know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I purposely don't do any of like the paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've purposely avoided those kind of weird calls, but I'm aware enough around it. And then also, if good relationships with the kids, they're telling me if there's weird, they'll hear about weird shit pretty quickly, that it'll spread. So yeah.
Take a point in kenning.
Kenning.
Yeah.
Kenning?
Yeah.
It's
a
talent.
talent.
Under talents,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
It's the ability to recognize Fey and Fey magic,
Fey
and
energy and all.
Fey energy. Yeah, just being aware of who's
that's chimerical.
Yeah.
And also being knowing like who is like if somebody is Fey and doesn't even know it yet, you might be able to detect.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that also Greymare?
Greymare is the lore.
That's
Okay.
that's magical
Okay.
lore, true magical lore.
Okay.
Right. So
Rob, can we open your wine? May we?
Yeah, I brought it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know I can, but it's the pretty white one.
So kenning is understanding Fey themselves, and Greymare is understanding the history of Fey.
Oh,
like,
excellent. Okay.
It's like
That's why it's under the knowledge versus the talent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
She gets it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know, right? I was like, two of us
that's
that
a
may
rosé.
also do the.
It had a pretty.
I'm gonna get Asian glow if I
Pretty
drink too much
label.
wine, though, so.
Oh, I know. I already did, and I choked on a bun.
Don't do that.
I know. I don't know what happened. It was like a part of it just flew in my neck like a pixie,
Just so you know,
and I was like,
nothing untoward's happening. She's fine.
Everything's fine.
But something might play your cards right. What?
tasty.
Okay.
Just saying.
Cool.
Nobody's choking on
Little
actual
little
buns.
hint
Okay.
pink from my.
I know.
Okay, and just real quick, and then
Nothing's been real
I
quick.
know it's.
real quick.
Yeah.
I don't do real
Stop
quick.
lying.
Whatever, dude. We've made some awesome
We
progress.
no,
I
it's been
was
great
saying.
progress.
See, that's the thing is
I
like
could do
I
this for
love
days.
right. Same here. I
favorite.
love this part. So
I do too.
yeah.
The
So,
make
I
shit
mean,
up part is my
yeah.
favorite part.
Yeah, I love the events in character and all the conversations in character and all that. But world building is such a good time and
Yeah.
and especially character building.
Well, and I appreciate that
yeah.
you
Yeah.
did it with us so that we have buy-in and,
Yeah.
and knowledge where it's not like, I'm not sure if there's
yeah.
a this in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the good thing
So-
is, if we do this right, we will continue world building
Yes.
Yeah.
and character
Yeah,
building
accurate.
as we get into the story.
that is true. Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Until we
beers.
go straight to
The
Portland.
beers. the
Have a
realm.
bun.
Beers.
Yes.
Very cool.
Until you go straight to Portland.
Have
Yeah.
the choking
Yeah.
bun.
Other thing
No.
That one. You can
That
have
one's
that one.
fine.
Have the one that will explode on you.
There you go.
There's also some in the fridge.
Totally not shaken up.
No.
It's stirring.
It's gonna be great.
What was the nickname again? Funster Fire?
Yeah.
I think
We're
that's,
gonna sneak it
I
back
think
in.
that's
another
our.
audio track.
Do we have a name? That's our name for our motley.
Yeah,
Fun-
'cause our
Funster
mom-
Fire.
Fire.
I
That
don't
is
know.
the
I don't
shit.
want. I don't want to take that from Clara.
I want.
I feel like she has a certain bit of ownership over that.
Appropriation.
I think Clara has totally owned the Funster Fire.
I don't know. I choked on a bun, people.
I'm pretty sad that like we had that conversation before the audio picked
Yeah.
up, and now that the
Yeah.
audio works
It's on
again,
podcast.
Now
It's on the podcast.
It's
Yeah.
on the podcast,
All
which
right.
Twitch
people listen to, yeah.
99.5% of people probably.
That's true.
Mike Chiron is going to say Claire Goldstein.
yeah.
Monster Fire.
Okay. All right. So tell me what arts you have and what
Realms?
and how what arts and realms and what are the numbers and you can go real quick into like
Do you want us to add if we actually have a treasure that gives us another art? Do you want to know that one as well?
Yeah.
yeah. Or like a chimerical companion. So
My
so let's
treasure holds
tell me
glamour.
yeah.
Does
Tell me
yours
what the
do-
face does.
Mine actually does.
the face stuff. Yeah.
It's a 3-point treasure and
Okay.
actually does the 3-point ability of one of the arts that I do.
Oh, see, that's what I
Okay.
have too. Okay, I might have done
Yeah.
it wrong. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, why don't you start, Jim?
Okay, so I have, of course, chicanery at 2, ledger domain at 2, contracts at 3, and naming at 1.
Uh-huh.
I have actor at 3, fey at 1, prop at 1, scene at 1, and time at 1.
Okay.
And I have a treasure called I believe I called it the Dragonfly Pendant. Yeah. And it gives me Metamorphosis 3,000 skins, which is the shape-shifting art.
Mm.
So it allows me to turn into animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Gina?
Yeah, although I think I haven't spent my freebies yet, which I was going to spend
That's
in
fine,
arts. But so I've got Primal at 1, Wayfarer at 2, and I was going to do a Neuromancy at least at 1, but I wanted to put extra points probably in Primal, so we'll see.
Okay.
Because I hadn't done my freebies yet.
Ratchet.
Yeah.
And then my realms, I've got Actor at 2, Fae at 1, Nature at 2, and then the ones you gave us, Scene at 1 and Time at 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I also put 3 points into a treasure, but I might have to look at it again. I thought it was just glamour storage.
Well, you can do
basically.
multiple things with a treasure.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
okay.
there's a lot of things you can do with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I might want to look and do something. But it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
a Clara ring that's been passed down in my family for generations
okay.
to the firstborn female.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then you have and then
And I did do Chimerical Companion. Is that what
yes,
you're going to?
mhm, yeah, and which you already told us, Guppy
Yes.
the puppy.
Guppy the puppy.
And then I gave out what naming at 1 and oaths at 3.
Contracts
Name-
at 3.
Contracts at
Contracts
3.
at
So
3.
yeah, so make
Yeah.
sure you write those down.
Yep.
Those are freebies.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, Rob.
Wait.
Was-
Say it again.
So I gave everybody for
Contracted-
free contracts at
Contracts.
3 and naming at 1.
Yep, and then Scene at 1 and Time.
Oh,
at
that's
1
right. Yeah,
under
yeah. I
realms.
gave each of you scene and time at 1. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. It's interesting. So my arts are Suse at 1, Contract at 3, Spring at 2, Naming at 1. Realms would be Actor at 3, Fuck Fae, Fuck Nature, Prop at 1, Scene at 1, and Time at 2.
Okay, so you go with people, but not Fae. Not Fae in nature.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they're stupid.
Okay, yeah.
That's get out of my town. You're Fae.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nicely, please.
Free
Yeah.
points cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
These were my quickies.
So I don't know.
These are 5
I don't know
points,
if that's
these are
right,
5.
Okay.
wrong,
I
good,
knew
bad.
Yeah.
It feels like
2
it
points.
feels like
Okay.
I have most of the
Best
most
one
of
is
my
the back
arts
one.
is what you
One
gave
card.
us.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if I need to add more there.
Yeah, you should have
Yeah.
5 points plus the 4 that I gave you.
Oh, seriously, I took
I've
Which
only
would
got
be
3.
points in
So
backgrounds
yeah,
and
so
Okay.
you need
level 3
at least
talent
2 more points in there.
with the treasure.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
Clara.
I
So
did
instead
not
of
do
paying
my
15
homework.
points,
Okay.
Is the
3 points of
answer.
that.
So
Since
I
I'll
have
get
literally
1 and 2,
listed
I only get 3.
under arts
But-
TBG at 3,
Oh, okay.
contracts 3, naming 1, and then I have scene 1, time
Oh,
1, Fae 1,
yeah.
prop 4,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
wait.
think I have a big ass sword.
You know what? It is only 3 arts, 3 dots in
only
arts.
3,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not 5 dots. in
Okay,
arts.
cool. So
yeah.
I did do
it's
that.
only
right.
3 in
So-
arts,
so-
yeah.
3 plus the 4 I gave you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
4 freebies.
Okay.
Okay.
I spent my 3 and then I spent 3 points
And
from my
five
dot.
5 in backgrounds,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, and then you have the giant ass sword.
I have big ass
And 5 in
sword that I
realms.
can't remember what we decided looked like
5 in
chimerically.
backgrounds, right? Because they erased
Yeah, we talked about it. I thought it was like
We'll
a-
figure it out.
Yeah.
It's something like a pen or something like that. It's
Yeah.
not a pen, but
Oops.
we
Quit bonking the
Oh, well.
camera.
Yeah.
Gina.
Is it a stylus?
it might be.
It's 5.
We'll figure it out.
5,
It's
3,
it's
5.
just
I believe
it's something
so.
innocuous that they can carry around with them.
I
I
know.
believe you only
And
get
Yeah.
but
Tuning,
chimerically, it is
There we go.
it is old school German Zweihände, I think.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
2 cross guard Zweihände.
Yes. Okay. You guys good?
Is it?
Yeah, we
Was
were
it-
just trying to remember I erased something accidentally.
Gotcha.
Was it one
I
of
swear
those?
it was 5.
No, that's more old school engineer. Like one of the telescoping like pointers.
No.
Yeah, that's too old school.
I don't. Yeah.
I feel like there was like a power, like a.
A laser pointer?
We had
No,
joked
like
it was
a
a
pen-
baseball bat because it was something that you could still hit someone with it if it wasn't real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's what I
true.
thought.
I don't
It's
remember.
5,
Yeah.
3, 5.
It,
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it really, literally was a month ago, I think.
Oh, you know what it
It
was?
was.
It's a multi-tool.
Oh yeah, it was like a Leatherman type
That's
of
right.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of-
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
I need
Because
to...
it is impossibly
Yeah.
practical.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Was that it?
We want to go over merits and flaws as well?
That's what I needed
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
and
We
I
should
haven't
talk
done
about
it
merits
yet.
and flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
176.
Or we can, actually, we can
168
save
was
that in
background.
case, because I
Yeah,
think
save
some
it
of
for
you still
next.
want to do merits and flaws.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of talk about that at the beginning of next session, or
Yeah.
we'll just review them real
We
quick.
could do it off time and then just tell you what we did or
Yes.
ask questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, I'm
So we
very
don't take up-
lenient with
Cool.
them. Yeah,
Because that's what I
Um,
needed to do.
because the other
Yeah.
thing that I'd like to do with all four of you at the
Love to do that.
table.
Yes.
Watch
Yeah.
us talk. While I've got all four of you at the table, is I want to develop relationships. So I'd like you to think about bonds that you're each going to have with the other three at the table, and what is the thing that ties you to each other person here. So these can be very open-ended. I would like to put them kind of in the form of something that could be resolved, and when it is resolved, you can rewrite it and get an experience point. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Our
Okay,
flaws
so I
are-
can't just say, Tommy,
So-
did we used to fuck?
Yeah.
That's not a bond.
Yeah.
Not exactly. But you could say, I still have a thing for Tommy. And and then at some point where it's either like consummated again, or you get over it, then you would resolve that, redefine the relationship, and you get an experience point for.
I think he still carries a torch for me, or I think he carries a torch for me. Did we have anything previously? I don't want to just say we did without you saying we did.
No, that's fine. I think we could have, but I think that for my character, the age is much older.
Yeah.
And so it's like late 40s, early 50s kind of experience. And if you've got like a super young, like surfer style, right? Mm-hmm. That like, yeah, I think we did for a while, but then I was like, oh, nope, this looks bad.
I like that, but I think that I still think you carry a torch.
Oh, okay.
Because I just think that's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe it's I think Tommy still has a torch.
Carries a
still
torch
carries a torch
for me.
for
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And
sorry
Tommy,
if I was
yours
too
can be
blunt.
completely
Sorry if I was too
different
blunt.
for her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, no, for sure.
So,
That's
yeah.
why I didn't want to just
Does it
say
have
it
to
and not
be-
have
yeah.
Rob be okay with.
Yeah, the relationship doesn't have to be the same on both sides, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying not to swear as much, and it's a terrible. So I'm like, oh God, I miss saying fuck.
Apologies. And I know. And I didn't even just say, I think we used to have a relationship. I was like, did we used to fuck?
Did you? Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with that. I was
Sorry,
just like,
content warning like
miss
5
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Everybody else is like me, that's just tired of trying to become a better person, and then it's all good. But she actually does want to become a better person, which makes her better than me.
it's more that I will yell very loud curse words at work, and I would rather not do that.
No, I
And it's hard to control when you just let yourself do it. Like,
Yeah,
I
if
understand.
it's habitual, it's hard.
Imagine
It's
having
almost
kids.
impossible.
Yes.
Oh,
Their vocabulary is much larger than I would prefer. And it is my fault.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
everyone
learned it
else
from
can
watching
swear.
you, Dad.
100%.
Everyone else
Yeah.
can swear. It just
Yeah.
I'm fucking watching you.
I'm gonna live vicariously through you as you swear.
Okay. All right.
So should we go around one by one and just do one of our things and then
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, like each person give one, create one.
How many do you want per person?
I want you to have a relationship with each other person at the
Okay.
table.
Okay.
So so Tommy will have one for Charlie, one for Maimrie, and one for
Fallon.
Fallon. Oh my God.
Do we need little cards?
Mine.
Those are
yeah.
useful.
I love
Yeah.
your name, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a
thank
cool
you.
name.
Mhm.
So who wants? Do you want to
Okay,
go next?
so I'm going to say that Fallon helped me out with a cyber stalker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good job.
And then what do you do to accomplish or to get
How'd
over
you
it? or
attract
to-
them first?
Well, I'm all over like YouTube and stuff because of what I do and who I am. But then there was somebody that was kind of obsessive, and Maimrie usually doesn't really worry about that stuff too much because they're usually far away. But there was somebody here locally
Oh,
that was basically started stalking me online. Actually, not local, but moved locally
Yeah.
to physically stalk me.
Was this another changeling, or was this a human, or something else?
Something else.
Something else.
Let's
Okay.
just say it's something else, and we'll leave it somewhat nebulous. But I think this situation would be something that would connect me both to Tommy and to Fallon, in that I didn't take it very seriously
you sort of did and did a little bit more digging, found out there actually was a legitimate threat, I still wouldn't take it seriously because of who Maimrie is. And that's when you got hold of Tommy, and Tommy actually found this guy.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what the outcome of what that is. I think that probably they keep it a secret.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. And I really don't know. So I'm kind of oblivious to it. But I know that they were looking out for me and something happened, but I'm not exactly sure. But I don't ask questions because, I'm distracted by something else.
Yeah.
But I just, the thing is that I want to create sort of a sense that she's so free and wild that it's kind of hard to manage sometimes, even for herself.
Yeah.
But it's really these guys sort of like in the background, kind of like helping me out. And I never truly appreciate it the way I should.
Yeah.
But they do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like they're somewhat older and more established fae, while I'm sort of still a wilder.
Yeah.
And they're sort of shepherding me. So it's kind of like not exactly a mentor relationship, but since my parents aren't around almost at all, I'm just this wild child, and they need to keep an eye on me. And that's sort of the connection that I have with both of these guys.
Okay. All right.
And the fact that she's sort of like a little 16-year-old sex pot. No, she has an appearance of 4 with captivating as a specialization, and subterfuge of 4 with seduction as a specialization.
Jesus.
And she has sex appeal as a physical merit at 3 points.
Yes. And
so
and
But she's 16.
her mother is a model.
Yeah.
And
Jim and I talked about this, and like we wanted to make it clear that like she is age appropriate sex potness, or like the story will only go to age appropriate actual. If there is any actual kind of sexiness, it will only.
No,
So
because
but there's other age appropriate. That's the only thing I'm thinking of.
No, the thing is, she's aware of her sexuality.
Yeah.
She's aware of it as the tool that it is.
Yeah.
But she isn't really using sexy times to be sexy times. She just uses it as a way to tug at people's strings.
Mm-hmm.
And
she
wouldn't want to date.
think women do.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I love you.
Does Maimrie have a channel? Like, is she a
she has
social
a YouTube
media
channel
personality?
She has a social media personality.
So she does. So she's on all of it, and she does all of it. Okay, that's mostly what I was trying to figure out, because that actually does read then if she's just an attractive female who also does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I can turn you into an influencer. Tommy can't. I can't.
Rob can't.
Full time. No. I can.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you would have a relationship with both of them as sort of like
guardian angels.
They're my guardian angels.
How does that get resolved?
When I finally figure out that I probably shouldn't do certain things and be more careful with my life.
You say thank you.
And say thank you once I realize what actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe phrase it as they're the guardian angels I don't know I need. Or
they're not the guardian angels I deserve. They're the guardian angels I have.
Yeah. But something along those lines where it's a statement that can be that can at some point be like, this is not the reality anymore, or this relationship is now evolved from.
Or do you think they did you a solid, but you don't actually realize what they had to do to do that? Like how much trouble you maybe really got into.
I know that she found out who this guy was, and he sort of talked to him, and he went away.
Yeah.
Great.
So you're like,
cool.
That's covered.
But it was probably something a little bit more in depth than that.
Yeah, maybe I don't know the degree to which Fallon and Tommy protect me.
I like that.
And that can be resolved in a number of ways.
I don't either.
Maybe they protect you in a different way than you thought, or maybe you suddenly learn all of the things that they've done, or maybe you evolve to the point you don't need the protection anymore. So there's a number of ways that could resolve.
Right.
I am on.
That's what I thought.
Clara.
I was going to say, I promise you that would probably be the only time Fallon used her mundane skills in a way that wasn't like for a company, for a security firm, and that probably bothers the crap out of them. Like, just because it's too gray. It's almost too gray area.
Yeah.
So that's
like
just a.
They had to go a little too far.
It's a little too far. It's a little too far for Fallon anyway, because that's actually something that we talked about, which is Fallon is a certified ethical hacker.
Yeah.
So they do security for companies.
Yeah.
And their whole job is just find holes in security systems for other companies. And then I guess a side pet project of building Facebook for fairies. But because of that, like when we had the last game where we had we had Newt, it would have been really easy to just use the phone and movie hack the phones, but that's just not something they do.
Yeah.
So the fact that you didn't ask and Fallon still found your stalker is like...
Maybe it was something I asked for.
It might have actually just been something Fallon was like, this seems not okay.
Oh, gotcha.
And at this time, it wasn't just like a corporation that you were trying to reinforce. It was like really literally a one-on-one finding this.
It was literally going behind someone's back to find someone behind their back to do that. Like, it really was to, because when you work for a corporation, they know what's going on. You don't go. It's not espionage. It's literally just like poking through someone else's.
You're trying to fortify their stronghold. Like, you're trying to strengthen their security. You're not doing anything.
Yeah. So Fallon has a really narrow moral compass when it comes to stuff like that, because. And that's like why they got into that business.
Yeah.
So
you hold yourself to a high standard.
A ridiculously high standard, which is almost absurd.
Yeah. So
To be
maybe...
honest, I love that.
Yeah.
It creates automatic limitations on what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times with the hacking thing, people go way too willy-nilly because they do everything. And I really love that you actually compartmentalize it.
Well, and that's also...
It's very troll-like, too, in that paladin kind of sense. Of like... I have this amazing strength and a big-ass sword, and I can cut you in half, but I won't because that would go against my code.
It's 110%. And I imagine that Maimrie's like, can you beat up my ex for me? And Fallon's like, no.
Fine.
No. Yeah.
I don't. We've had this conversation 4 times. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but no.
You did?
Maybe your statement is something like, I might cross lines to protect Maimrie, or or
protect my friends.
To protect my friends. Yeah.
And actually,
what were you gonna say, Ron?
No, just because it's individual. Like if you wanted to create individual bonds.
Yes.
I don't know how that works out on the individual side.
Yeah, well, I would rather it be specific to the individual.
Yeah. It could be for Maimrie, who's underage, and also it's. Maimrie's the only person I need to protect so much I would break my moral compass.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I had another one, but it's a little weird, and I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
If you're okay with it, I think that Fallon and Charlie may have slept together at least once.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm not helping you with your swearing.
No, you can swear on my behalf, please.
No, because Charlie's in love with love.
And I think that may have been because I don't think of Fallon as being a particularly emotional or sexual being.
Almost,
But I think that's one of those things where that might be something that breaks some mundanity, because Fallon's actually a very mundane character for this game.
And almost aromantic, you were thinking, and sort of...
I think of them as aromantic, but it might be one of those things, not that it needs to be something to be fixed, but for Fallon, it's just never been considered. So that's something that Charlie's doing for them.
Yeah. And for
I like that.
For a Selkie, it's just such... the falling in love over and over and over again is such a... It's such a sad trope, but it's so real. To it's part of the Selkie lore.
No, absolutely.
You're in love with love, like you said.
Yeah.
Very different.
Nope, absolutely. I like it.
Rob, do you have something?
I do actually. Built upon what Jim was talking about, there's something big that has Maimrie in their sights. something big and bad that has Maimrie in their sights, and I don't know what it is.
Okay.
So I think from a relationship point of view, it's like I have to protect her from whatever that big bad thing is, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not telling her.
And it's a secret, so it obsesses you, which is great.
Yeah, right.
Sluagh, yeah.
Very Sluagh, yeah.
This is awesome because I don't know anything about these kind of characters.
Well, you're so
great,
playing it perfect so far, man. Yeah. You're stumbling into greatness. So
yes.
I just want to have a tie to you, and I don't know what to do about it.
So maybe it's the statement is something like
Well, he has a kenning, right?
Yeah,
so he could just sense something that is malevolent towards, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, maybe I'm obsessed with Maimrie's secret threat. Or with
Maimrie's secret threat.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Or Maimrie's unknown enemy.
You need to try your own. This is good.
Try your own wine.
Which is funny because one of the things that I
like
wanted to talk to you about was
it'll be a little,
the idea
a little
that
rosé.
Thank you.
The idea that these ancient gods, these ancient the Anunnaki, which are sort of like at the core of a lot of this ancient alien BS, were actual gods, and the whole ancient alien movement is causing people to worship them again in a certain way. So they're actually starting to materialize back from the dreaming and have some potency, but they want to stay asleep. So they hate me and my dad.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They're trying to hit the snooze button.
Exactly.
That's super cool. You're
Our time is gone.
It's sulfur, right? Or sulfate.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a good
like
Pinot
it.
Grigio.
So
Rob?
real quick. So they're called the Anunnaki?
Anunnaki. I'll send you something.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to bring white.
How do you feel, how does Tommy feel about basically being responsible for these two?
Which two?
Less you, but...
No, not less me.
Yeah,
you're being
you
fair.
Too. You're a mess.
Because of his chosen profession and the fact he's a grump and like it's just something that he just takes on without even thinking. Like it's a I get up, I put on pants, I watch out for other people, especially if they're too stupid to watch out for themselves.
Okay.
But I don't tell them that because I'm much nicer than... Lately I've been on this nice character kick, and I'm going to break out of it pretty soon. Not with this character, because I already feel like I have him a little bit, but...
I like Tommy.
I'm like quietly just playing an Adam character over here, which is an awkward person.
Do you have a lot of abs?
See, possibly.
I'm playing the other half of your character.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I actually wrote it as like Charlie's trying to now help Fallon be like social.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
It's it's the chick flick. You need to find love. And
Yeah.
Sorry, 90s terrible high school.
So maybe if Charlie could have a statement, something like I can transform Fallon into something.
90s, it'll be all the 90s tropes.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that driving
She's
me crazy?
all that.
She's all that.
She's all that. Yeah.
What was driving me crazy was the other Melissa Joan
Oh,
Hart and other cute boy.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're talking about the Rachel.
If everyone still can't buy me love, I love that movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was really good.
All you have to do is take their glasses off.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's all you do.
Put your hair down.
Didn't work for me. I'll tell you right
I
now.
promise you it doesn't change what I look like.
I like it.
It's one movie where they do that, and the girl takes her glasses off, and she like can't see.
Oh, they made like a bunch of jokes.
Maybe so. It might have been one of those jokes.
Happened to me.
Yeah.
Someone tried to make me over and took my glasses off, and I immediately walked into like a corner.
No.
Don't do that.
Kind of need them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So okay. So Charlie, you have one for Tommy and for Charlie?
Well,
or
Fallon made
Fallon?
one with me. I didn't make
Okay.
one with Fallon, so I don't know how we're...
Yeah, so it can
Yeah.
be connected. It can be
Okay.
something back, but
Okay.
Have
yeah.
the same goal, but you
Yeah.
don't have to.
Yeah, no, because I like that one.
Yeah.
I think that would work for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. So I kind of need one with Maimrie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, suggestions?
I'm trying to think because
And I
really don't know so much about your characters.
I know, because I didn't get to play with you guys last
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes it more difficult for me to try to build something with you.
And I don't have a problem having a Slack conversation and then us talking about what we all like if we're just recapping our characters before we start next time.
And maybe it's it's something that happened recently, and it also doesn't have to be a huge big deal either.
Yeah.
These can be things that are just like we like playing golf together, that kind of
Well,
that
I'm wondering-
but it's just what is that thing that makes your two characters come together by themselves when it's just the two of you.
I like to have the idea that Maimrie kind of looks up to you. Because you're a pro surfer. You sort of have your own thing that you're really good at.
Yeah.
I'm sort of just glomming onto what my dad does, so she feels a little bit insecure about it. Even though the thing about her is that she gives this intense feeling of like, I'm awesome, I'm secure, I love me, I'm great. We're really deep down inside, she's like, it's just full-on imposter syndrome.
Right.
You like being a teenager?
Yeah, she's a full-on teenager. So she sees you as like the stable, confident, cool chick that she just kind of wants to be like. And maybe you're teaching her how to surf.
Oh, totally teaching you how to surf. Because
Yeah.
I think she gives surf lessons and stuff too to people, tourists and people that come into. I like that because I kind of was thinking. You said you have a YouTube channel and you've totally got a bit. Because I think I picture Charlie as kind of a free surfer. So she surfs her butt off, and she does competitive surfing and stuff. But she also does, and I think Clara suggested this last time, and I was like. But I think she's got like sponsorships, and she maybe has a so she's got a YouTube channel, and she's got to uplink. She's got to post shit all the time, and she thinks you're the shit. So like, I think it's totally this thing where you think I'm teaching you because I've got all this confidence, and I'm like, oh my god, you've got this wired. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this whole YouTube channel, and
then it's sort of like a mutual thing. So it's connection both ways.
Yes,
where we have a mutual admiration society.
Okay. You both think the other one is your hero.
Yes.
And in a way.
because I think Maimrie's got it wired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that's nice.
You
Yeah,
guys
I like
can
that.
do collabs together.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time thinking about social media.
I know. You're a poor generation. That sucks.
It's fine. I actually it's like my hobby.
You're a millennial.
Yeah.
You are?
Late millennial.
Yeah, she's practically like the next one. Yeah.
That's their kids.
You're pretty
younger
close.
than me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're not quite that,
Am I the
fetal.
but
youngest?
you're in the end.
Am I the youngest Jacker? Technically.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
No, there's someone. No, Haps.
No.
Emily. She counts.
I don't know Emily.
I'm like, I don't know an Emily.
Oh, does she play? Oh, okay.
Emily, yeah, she's like 19, 20.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know she was playing.
Sorry.
Okay, so
that's important.
and so Charlie and Tommy are still missing some, I think.
I was gonna say, I feel like Fallon probably just of the three of y'all, Fallon likes Tommy the most.
Well,
Or maybe
you're
something
far more
like
compatible.
Yeah.
You don't ask questions.
Tommy's maybe something like Tommy's the only one I can trust for serious shit. Or something
Probably,
like that.
probably the first person I go to for serious shit. My other thought is we both have like the same preference in alcohol.
Drinking buddies.
Bourbon.
I was gonna say we probably both drink like
Whiskey
or something together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down at the Suds and Duds.
No, definitely not. It's
way divier.
No,
Oh, okay.
it's alone on the porch of my beach house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
With like the good shit, like
Yeah.
the $200 bottles. Yeah.
Better hope we don't show up.
We
Oh.
don't.
We'd hide it. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
This is not. This isn't for you.
This is really good stuff, and it's like,
It's like,
Yeah,
can I get an
whatever.
ice cube?
Yeah.
Or They're like,
Do you have any pineapple soda?
yeah.
It's like
Oh my
so
God.
yucky.
I had this $120 bottle of Jefferson Reserve or Jefferson
Yes.
Ocean, and I poured some for my nephew who was like 23, and he like had a sip of it, and then he like grabbed some Coke and put it in it before I could be like, no, don't. That's not the. Oh God.
I had that happen with like a $150 bottle of wine.
Yeah,
where like poured enough for everybody, and the person just went, I don't really like this. And it was just like, I'll drink it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Port Estrella. Do you need any more relationships?
Well, I've got 3 coming in, 1 going out. I need to figure out 2 going out.
Okay.
So
I didn't think about coming.
I just need to figure it out.
That's all.
Yeah. Because like
Which is your one going out?
Memory.
That's what I thought.
So
Yeah.
I need the 2 of you. I have to figure
I feel
it out.
like drinking buddies can be mutual. I'm just saying.
That's fair. That might be.
And if you can, try to come up with what's the thing that each of you, and it can be different for each of you, what's the thing that you get out of the drinking buddy time? Like, is it calming? Is it centering? Is it like, this is how I let go of all my stress? Is this the time when I'm allowed to complain? Or is this when I talk about my emotions? Like what is the relief that each of you get from that time drinking whiskey with each other? So.
I think for me, it's just you're the Tommy's the only. He's a Sluagh. He's always ordered kind of quiet. I think it's he's one of the only people in Fallon's life right now who they can just be quiet with.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
Yeah,
That
everybody else has
introverted,
so
like-
much input. I can totally tell.
Quiet togetherness.
High maintenance.
Yeah.
Quiet togetherness. Yeah.
No, Maimrie's a hot
Quiet,
mess.
actually, quiet companionship.
Yeah.
Quiet
I think
companion.
that's
They
it.
don't-
Yeah.
She needs everybody's attention all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure
It
they
really
might
is.
have got it in their heads that we just talk shit about them behind their back.
Yeah.
But I think
Like,
it's
But they're actually
we
not.
talk shit about
Yeah.
them behind their back.
Yeah.
They talk
You
shit
like
about
bug-
us behind
Yeah.
their back.
you bug
You guys
the
are out
once.
surfing, night surfing,
Absolutely.
and watching them on the porch drinking it, and you're like, they're totally talking shit about us. Oh yeah, they totally are.
And we're
the
totally
two of them are
talking shit about them. And
Yeah.
Look at us living life. They're just sitting there.
Yes, exactly.
and you two are just
Exactly.
sitting there quietly sipping,
Like,
glad
Yeah,
that they're
and you're
out.
like, thank
Hey, my
God.
name is Tommy. I live a life like a banana slug.
Banana slug sex is freaky. You don't even know.
I don't want
Gross.
to know.
They bugged it once and they just heard like,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that was it.
Like,
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So everyone has a relationship statement with each
Yeah.
person. Okay.
Yeah, I just need 2 more outgoing.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
want to
Oh.
work on those right now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was
Okay.
going to say,
You
feel
wanna think
free to
about them?
reach out on Slack and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
need
that.
to figure them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about those off channel, and then we'll reveal them next time around. So yeah, I swear we will do some story next time. We will
This
start
has all
off
been
with
a
story.
story.
And it's only going to be...
Yeah.
It's only like 10 days from now. Because
It is, yeah,
it's July
yeah.
1st
dude, we
today,
killed
we're
a
playing-
chimerical kaiju
Yeah.
I know.
by
We-
transforming a university
we
into
did-
a 5 combining
And
robot.
we
Right?
just rolled a die.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
There we
we're
go.
Yeah.
Whatever you did, you
Yeah.
failed.
I got it too.
We
Yeah.
did Faye Voltron fighting a giant kaiju.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Faye
And this is
Voltron.
I'm just saying that the left arm was an
story
otter because
building.
that was me.
Robot
otter attack.
Oh, you were each a different animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it came into
so
ours.
yeah, so the Baron as the head was the big black Drogon dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then each of you were an animal. So I need to know what animal you were.
That's it. I'm an otter.
Yeah, so because that's
Go
amazing.
otters.
Nice. We can do it.
Okay, so I think we're going to call it there. Is there any last thing that any of you would like to throw into the world or throw into your reveal about your character? Or
There was a masturbator in the chat room said Baron Morgan's Clockwise Quart.
Clockwise quartz.
It just keeps making me giggle every time I look
Baron
at
Morgan's
the screen.
Clockwise
so.
Court? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually named my dreamers. If you want to know what
Oh,
they are.
cool. Okay. Yeah, if you guys did anything like that, like naming people or creating a place, or who's
I
your
have to
partner
name
at
my
on the
dreamers.
force or whatever, or like who
Yeah.
who runs the tattoo parlor. Like
Okay.
if you guys want to feel free to come up with those if you want. If you don't, then I'll come up with them on the fly when we need them, or ask you to create them.
Okay.
How many dreamers do you
but-
have?
I have 3 dreamers, Sasha, Garrett, and Andy, and they are members of the UFO/cryptid club called The Searchers.
I hate them already.
Nice.
A little bit.
I love them.
I think they're pretty awesome.
So yeah,
I'm
so
disappointed in them.
of course you are.
Of course you are. It's perfect.
You're disappointed in everyone.
Yeah. So if you guys have things like that already planned out, then message me with them.
Okay.
If you don't have them planned out and you want to come up with something, like we want to talk about your mentor, I'm starting to get a picture and an image, so I might send that. I might make some suggestions.
Awesome.
But let's talk about all of that stuff, and then we'll dive into a scenario. When we start on July 10th, Wednesday, July 10th.
A week
Yay.
from Wednesday.
Yay!
Does anybody have anything else they want to pimp they're coming up with?
I have a 3-hour drive
Oh,
tonight.
You're starting a...
No, actually, we're going to do the finale of Wild Wild Talents.
Oh, yeah.
But
Cool.
because I have a certain family thing going on,
Yes.
we're not going to do it on the regular day.
Okay.
Actually, let me find out exactly when that's happening.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
And you're also... Are you starting the Cthulhu game?
Yes, we already started it yesterday.
Okay.
So next Sunday after that. So it's going to be on the 4th at 10 a.m.
Oh, it is.
This week. July
Yeah.
4th.
That's
just
Joey was actually hoping for that.
Thursday morning.
It's like maybe we could do it on the morning of the holiday. It'd be so much easier. So it's like one of the few free times.
And that is the finale of the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mike and Mike's wife are pregnant and are expecting to deliver
Yep.
in this.
Oh my
time.
God. Oh, nice.
So we cut it off at 10 episodes instead of 12 because we knew that he was going to be basically.
Yeah.
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 So congratulations to him, and please watch
Good job.
on the 4th.
Nice.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to
Yeah.
And
we're going to kill another elder
New
god.
show was Stu Call of Cthulhu,
Call of
which
Cthulhu,
is totally a
which
Stu
is
game.
we did our character generation episode yesterday. So yeah, so I played Cthulhu and then I played Changeling back to back,
Yikes. That's
which is it's looking really really awesome. So
Nice.
yeah, we
I'm
got Pooja
kind
in
of
that,
jealous
we got-
I'm not in that.
Yeah, Kimmy, myself.
you have
Thank you. I know, I do. Yeah, and actually, that's the end of my plugging because I am in this. This is my one game on Happy Jacks right now, and will be for a while. So
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched Other
Yeah.
People, watch it because it's awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, this is my one game.
yeah.
I have one game because I don't have time. Although
Yeah.
the show that I work on, Damsels, Dice, and Everything Nice, just released as part of our Kickstarter. I don't know what it was. We just released a lyric video for our theme song.
Cool.
I do the art for it, so
Nice.
I like the backdrop and stuff. So any of the weird points of light you see in the background, I did that.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kickstarters, Jason Mills' Demigods
Yes.
Demigods.
is going live on July the 9th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll definitely pimp that out on our next session. If you're in LA, there's going to be a thing
on
Kickstarter
Guildhall, just
kick off
at
Yeah.
Guildhall.
at Guildhall.
Yeah.
check out his Twitter. It's probably okay.
Yeah.
Which he recently misspelled on something to me, and I liked it
Yeah.
because it wasn't okay.
No, it's not.
was
It's
not
not okay.
okay.
I mean, it was probably okay, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And also demigodspbta.com.
Correct.
You can go sign up for the newsletter, get the announcements. The Kickstarter is coming soon. This game is awesome.
If you like Percy Jackson, if you like the Scion
Good Omens.
world,
Scion. I was gonna
Scion,
say,
yeah,
Scion.
and I personally think it's a better version of that style of game than Scion.
Yeah,
because it allows more freedom and you to make gods out of just about anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Also,
it's-
Scion gets real broken after you get 10 god points. Just okay, I can unmake reality. Like when everybody has the Infinity Gauntlet,
Yeah.
it gets a little ridiculous.
it's crazy, but
And,
okay.
yeah, and
cancel
Demigods,
each other out.
Demigods just has such a good flow to it. It's so well balanced. It's
It's
beautiful.
well balanced. It's
yeah.
super creative, and you can have a whole lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Just most PBTA games are great, but this one is particularly well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you watch the One Shot Saturday, it was my first, which was my first stream with Happy Jacks with Adam. We have a god of mycology at one point, and
Yeah.
it is, and also Stu playing the son of Ares, the pig herder, and it is
so good.
still the best thing
It is
that has
so
ever
good.
happened.
Yeah, you need to find it and watch it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so Gina's going to throw up a schedule.
Yeah, I will throw up the calendar and check it out, and then see you guys in 10 days.
10 days, July 10th. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Keep dreaming.
That's so cute.